Scanning for libers. What is up, chat? What is up? Can we get a hello in the chat? Or not. Nobody here. It's a Monday, so drama. We're going to be looking at drama today. Great way to start off the week. This is a great way to start off the week. I love doing these daily streams where it's like we try out new things, different stream ideas and everything, you know. Mondays, drama. Fridays, just regular reactions. Saturdays are just whatever the fuck I feel like. And then throughout the week is like, you know, just here and there. I'm going to have to eventually pick a day where I don't stream. Because, like, okay. If I pull out my laptop here and pull out the spreadsheet, if any of you guys don't know what spreadsheet I'm talking about, it's the chart. I have charted out for the last week every day that I have streamed, and so far Wednesdays are the worst. If I'm gonna pick a day to stream, it's definitely, yes, I'm nerding out. I have definitely nerded out. And if there's going to be one day that I don't stream, it's going to be a Wednesday. Because these Wednesdays, even Friday, like, that's a little too low. That's a little low. Now let's get into the news here. So, as you know, for what we do here, we basically like to, especially on Mondays, we like to look at drama. That's the main thing. So we look at stuff with politics. We're going to be talking about some very heavy stuff here. Now, obviously, you all know that I'm a gamer and everything, and a lot of my humor, if you don't know, has a lot of political messaging here, because, and I know a lot of stuff goes over a lot of people's heads, because I've been told, like, you know, hey, you're going too political, and, like, you know, hey, you're going too political. I don't think I'm going too political. I don't think I'm being political enough, right? So I like to take, I'm thinking of taking this time right now to kind of, you know, get more involved, kind of know what's going on around the world. And, you know, I think I can translate that into humor, into my humor. So, a lot of you, if you don't know, I'm working on a Batman video currently, so I have a lot of jokes going on, but a lot of those jokes are kind of dated now, and that's the problem. Every time I'm like, oh, I want to do a joke. I have a joke here. It's super funny, it's immediately it's obsolete. There's a new thing going on. Like I can make a joke about like, oh, some crazy shit happened in the news, so that'll be a joke for the video. Oh, can't do that anymore because now something new came up. Like fuck, there's a church burning every fucking day of the week. It's insane. You know, it's kind of irritating though. I don't I don't like watching it too much because, you know, it does get to you. It's going to get to you eventually. You know, all the insanity, all the negativity. I just realized I didn't have my output audio going on. That's on me. Sorry about that. You guys are just hearing nothing, right? It's like, you know, I'm just talking, you don't got that nice chill music. Drinking water. I've been drinking a lot of water lately. World is gone. Yeah, it's not good to... It's good to, like, you know... Okay, I'll be honest. I know I said in one of my videos, in one of the, in that two-parter Kirk saga, and both of them, I think, I said that I was going to get off, I can't hear. So I said to myself, like, okay, you know what? Maybe I will get off the internet for a bit. And I tried to. I really did. I didn't. But honestly, I don't think it would have mattered, because if I get off of the internet for like a week later, some more shit was going on. Like, it wouldn't matter anyways. And that's really like that's really the crux of the problem. It's like there's like so much shit going on. You know, it's like it's not a dull moment anymore. Anyway, answers to find out unplug. Yeah, it is. I can't lie. You're right. Man, everybody's on the Green app. We got nobody on the OG. Everyone's gonna come on Twitch. Based. Based. I'm pinning that. Anyway, all right. Now, let's get into, oh, hold on. Wrong one. Sorry. You know what I gotta do? You wanna know what I gotta do, chat? I gotta save some money up. Oh, hold on. Should I wear the hat on stream, or should I, I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear the hat. I know, right? Yeah, that's what, I mean, they're getting the comeuppance. Anyway, so this is an interesting video. I didn't watch it fully. Like, I kind of was listening to it here and there, but I figured, you know what, this will be a great thing to talk about, because, give me 1 second, hang on. I can't look at it. I don't know why. Just whenever I look at my hair, just look at my head, it's just uncanny to look at myself without a hat on. Check memes. What you posted memes? Oh, I'm checking memes. It's blank right now. God damn, bro. Talk about aura farming, dude. Nice. You know, I'm gonna make a new text channel. Lol. Whoops. I gotta make a new text channel. Also, Jubbly posted. Nice. Ooh, can I show your pussy pics on stream? I'm joking. That was mean. I'm gonna make a new channel actually on Twitch, because I need, like, on Twitch, not on Twitch. I need to get a channel on Discord for chatters. Just so they can, like, post images and stuff of, like, stupid shit. because this is more of a YouTuber focused Twitch chat. Or Twitch chat. This is more of a YouTuber focused Discord server. I gotta also, like, you know, bring in the streamer aspect to it as well, because I've been doing a lot more streaming lately than videos, and I think this is better. Like, you know, the whole thing with like streaming and shorts, because it allows me to kind of, you know, still bring out still like make content, but while I'm working on bigger videos. So it allows me to, like, you know, still be relevant, still give out content, but you didn't watch it either? Yeah, we'll watch it. Watch it in a minute. But yeah, like, you know, posting shorts and everything, like, it's, and also if you haven't seen the recent short, like, hang on, like, it's on YouTube Shorts and on Instagram, not on TikTok, because I don't know what I can and can't post there, and they're always, like, you know, on my ass, so it's like I just rarely post on TikTok anymore. It's just mostly Instagram and YouTube Shorts. But I posted a new short. I'm thinking of doing a lot more like that. I'm thinking of doing no, it's not copyrighted. I only use game soundtracks. This is Call of Duty. Anyways, so as I was saying, what was I saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, just anyway, shorts, streams. That's really what is going on right now. It's really sad though. I went from like full-time YouTuber, part-time streamer to now full-time streamer, part-time YouTuber. I haven't been having any trouble. I mean, I can pick a different song. Hang on here. We'll use Persona music. No, don't use. We don't use Nintendo music. Nintendo music is no go. Nintendo music is a no go. We don't do that. I know that one. Yeah, true. Anyway, all right. Now, without further ado, let's get into some videos. So I got like a few videos here. I kind of went down a rabbit hole. So we're gonna be crossing borders here. So it's like we got U.S. and Canadian politics, because, you know, I feel like I feel like there's not enough voices talking about, especially, like, you know, things north of the border. And every time I watch somebody talk about it north of the border, no offense to these guys, by the way, like, no offense to like Damani or like the 811 podcast, like, these are good guys, but like they're very, for a specific audience, they're very dated. You know, and somebody like Wilhelm Apologist is like way too far on the other side. Like, he's way too far right. And also JJ McCowley, nothing, again, no shade at the guy, but like, again, it goes back to like kind of dated. But, you know, maybe it's just me, because I'm a hater on anything political. I want to be political, but I also want to be funny. I kind of got to maintain, like, oh, we can be political here, but we can also laugh at it, see the absurdity. Is what I'm hoping for. I don't want to like be complete doomer, but like, it's hard to not be. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna turn that down for a bit. So this is Think Before You Sleep. The World Will Never Be the Same. It's kind of interesting, like the title choice that he used, like Fatigue. Like Ibs did the same thing. There's been a trend going on with here, let me show you guys. Which is people use like like right there. Like there's like a thumbnail trend, but it's been popularized by him. Anyway, all right. Without further ado, let's get this show on the road.
Muslims killed 2,000.
Okay. Oh, please. Oh, please don't hold my arm.
Obviously, I'm not going to show it, but that was a Korean woman who almost had a very traumatizing experience. And it was thanks to, I believe, this guy that she didn't have that experience.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so much.
This whole event happened in China, by the way, so it was all very multicultural, and I think it helps bring a prevalent problem to people's attention, a problem that a lot of people have started to notice. This next thing comes from Japan. It shows a picture of some passports and it says, banned countries on the top in Japanese. A tweet commenting on it says, some Japanese nightclubs reportedly banned passports from Turkey, Syria, Bangladesh, India, Afghanistan, and Pakistan.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot of friends, right? Who are Indian, because there's a huge influx of Indian people coming in. And there's a huge Indian population in Toronto. So I got a lot of friends, who are Indian. I genuinely feel bad for them. I genuinely feel bad for like the hate that they get. I was even talking to a friend of mine about this, right? Because he's like, bro, like there's like so much going on. And the thing is, he is such a nice guy. He is such a like sensitive and compassionate. I don't want to say sensitive, make him sound like a bitch, but like he's a nice guy, and he's really genuine with what he says. And I feel bad for him because he's like, bro, there's so much hate going on. I don't understand why. And it's like, well, a lot of people are coming in, they're not assimilating properly, and a lot of problems are coming out. And he's like, yeah, I get that. Like, but it's like, why are they attacking everybody instead of like this fringe group? And he's right. I think that's like the biggest problem, because like everybody's now like there's so much hate going on, so much divisiveness, and it's like nobody is willing to call out what the problems are. And I feel bad. And I feel bad for somebody like him, because now he gets to get grouped into that. Because like I'm only mentioning this because like India was mentioned on one of those passports, and I'm just imagining like if I were to like go on vacation and he'd say, hey, you want to come? I couldn't go. He couldn't come with me to a nightclub like this. That's what I think about, at least. It's not, and I understand why they're doing it though. I understand why. It's not that I like it, but I understand it.
In response to their bad behavior towards female customers, this particular picture seems to stem from a Turkish Instagram account. And while I can't tell you what he's saying in his video, many Japanese people have commented on the issue. Here's a post from someone who works security in Japanese clubs. I will note that this post is translated, so I'll show the original really quickly for people who care. Now, my Japanese isn't perfect, but I have to say that the translation is close enough. In short, the first two paragraphs...
I've involved in club security for 17 years, but from the time I started, the place I worked at had Kurds and Africans basically banned. Especially at clubs. They just say everything fatigue. Yeah, everything fatigue. You know what's crazy too? Everybody in America, right? Everybody when I say America, by the way, I'm going to say this right now. Whenever I say America, I mean the United States and Canada combined. Like North America, like in general. Like that geographic and cultural sector. When anybody in America says that racism and segregation and all that still exists, I know for a fact that they've never even looked at other countries. Like in China for a time, they said no Africans allowed. Like they literally would have a sign on a McDonald's that said like no Africans allowed. You don't see that here. If you did that here, there would be lawsuits up the ass. But everyone wants to pretend like, oh, it's still a thing, it's still prevalent. Like I doubt that. Like 100%. I will press X to doubt. And this stems from like the fact that like they've for like the last year and a half, even like with Johnny Somali, like in Korea, they've been having people come in, right? They come in, they're disturbing children, young children on the train. They have been like, robbing places, attacking people. And these are just the streamers, right? Like, And like these are the people who I've seen like do this shit on stream. And they see that, and they're not like, they don't really care about being politically correct. They're going to go back hard, and they're going to and in terms like this, they're going to overcorrect. What do you mean? Tell me I'm wrong. Like that's what it is. Like they see patterns, and they want to squash it as soon as possible.
It's basically confirmed the nightclub issue, and under this post, there are tons of Japanese people talking about behavior.
Oh my god! I once helped a girl who was almost attacked by a black person past 2 a.m. on Gate Street. Since military personnel have a rule to return to base by midnight, it's unlikely they were military. Non-military African individuals often team up with Indian people to hang out freely. Due to the barrier between Japan and foreigners, this reality is that the police don't take action in 8 out of 10 cases. Oh my god. U.S. and Canada racism in their history. U.S. and Canada racism in their history. So if we're not allowed... So if we not allowed people in places, they're going to call it out. Yeah, exactly. Anybody here, they're going to call it out. But because we've had a racist past, and we've corrected that. We now have such an integrated society. And now it's like now all of a sudden you're seeing people starting to question that, and they're starting to clap back like, should we have a society like that? And, the left have been saying this for years, we shouldn't have an integrated society. And they've let this go on for so long that now they've gotten people on the right to now start saying we shouldn't have an integrated society. And I think that's wrong. I think that's a leftist policy, a leftist idea, and I don't think it should be perpetuated anymore. And I don't think it's crazy for me to say that. It shouldn't be crazy.
From foreigners, and...
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I think everyone's at a level of fatigue where they're all thinking, if this is how
we're just going backwards.
how
it's
certain
sad.
groups of people are going to behave, then Japanese clubs are justified in doing this until their behavior changes. And people aren't afraid anymore to call this stuff out.
Woke is dead, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah!
Now, I have my reservations about Elon's character and personal behavior. However, he did basically steal every bit of power that these rejects had by buying Twitter and allowing people to speak freely.
Marvel now has regained the rights to X-Men. I think it would be a really cool idea to have a trans woman be Mystique.
Oh my god, shut up. Nobody
What?
cares. We're not doing this anymore. If you want to create a story that no one reads, then go write fan fiction. So the result of this newfound free speech, thanks to Elon, is that we're now not censored for pointing things out like criminal behavior, and I guess we'll call it cultural replacement through pathological immigration policies. And before anyone calls any of this racist, for one, I don't care. No one cares anymore. Two, a great man once said that he dreamed of a time where people would be judged by the content of their character, and criticizing people's behaviors and cultural trends is not racism. You're being judged by your actions. Expecting special treatment or special protections from criticism because you're a certain race is racist, because racism requires a superiority complex, and saying that it's illegal for people to criticize you or that you're above the law because of your race is the suggestion that you're superior.
Yeah,
and before we get into it, just to make this all perfectly clear right at the start of the video, because I know there are people who will actively try to misinterpret what I'm saying. So personally, on an individual level, I don't think I'm superior to any one individual of any race. I've met great Middle Eastern people. I'm a big fan of Middle Eastern food. Obviously, I have respect for Asians. I've been studying...
I'm gonna be honest. Middle Easterns, they got that shit on lock, okay? They got that shit on lock. Shawarma is fucking goated. I don't care what anybody says. Shawarma is delicious. All right? There's like these two shawarma joints that I go to, right? One of them I don't go to that much anymore because, they've been kind of... haven't really been doing so well, but this other one, there's a shawarma chain called Osmos. Really fucking good, really good food. All right, they got that shit on lock. All right, that's all I can think about, though, when I think of Middle Eastern food. There's a lot of other things, too. Like, the goat, goat goat falafel. Sorry, fuck. There's a lot more in Middle Eastern food. It's just I've only been eating shawarma, recently. So I got shawarma on the mind. Goddamn, I think I want some shawarma. No, I deleted Uber Eats. I'm not ordering food anymore.
Studying Japanese for years.
Not fucking goats.
Mexicans
Eating
are
goats.
great, and I've met plenty of smart
Eating
Indians
goats.
and studied some of their philosophy when I was younger. For example, I think the Indian concept of karma is great in the Western sense, and its original.
The Indian concept of karma. You know what's interesting about the Indian concept of karma? Karma gets you at birth. So like, you know how like, you do bad things and bad things happen to you, do good things and good things will happen. That's karma here. Karma there is basically you're fucked from the start. Like you're pretty much fucked. My father was calling a scammer once, and the scammer was like, "Oh, like fuck you." And my father's like, karma's gonna get you, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, karma's gonna be." No. Like, think about it. Why am I here? Why am I here in Canada, all rich and happy, and you're over there scamming the shit out of people? Karma. That's karma getting you. And the guy was like, "Oh shit." He's terrified. He's apologizing, begging for forgiveness, and he's like, "No, I don't know. I don't know the full story. I'd have to ask him. He's not in at the moment. But it's interesting though about how they see karma. I know I was trying to say something positive about India, and then I immediately brought in a negative about India. I did not mean it to come off like that. What I'm trying to say is that that's a piece of their culture that I find interesting. And I've been talking to one of my coworkers, right, who's also Indian. And he's been, giving me the lore about a lot of Hindu gods. Turns out a lot of Hindu gods actually have same stories and similar similar stories to Christian to the Christian lore. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of that overlap. Anyways, I'll continue.
Meaning described in the Bhagavad Gita.
I think it was Krishna.
We'll be talking
I think Krishna was the Hindu god that I'm talking about.
about karma a bit in this video. That being said, certain places have different cultural values, and if outsiders don't want to adhere to those values, then they can leave. Which brings us to this video here.
Over time, I noticed there was a lot more newcomers, especially more Punjabi kind of guys, which was fine. Like, I honestly had no problem with it. These men specifically were always groping and touching women and
oh my god,
coming in these circles and just dancing in a way that made a lot of people feel really uncomfortable. But the other thing that I've noticed is we're just
if he did that in the States, specifically in the South, he will be going home with extra bullet holes. I'm going to say that right now. You do not do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. And you know what? This is a fear that I have, because I have a lot of it would be in the ground, yes. And here's the fear I have. I have a lot of friends locally who are women. I have a lot of female friends, and I fear every day, like it's always in the back of my head, like somebody doing something to them. And I don't like having that kind of fear. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel comfortable thinking about that oh shit, that can happen. Not enough to the point where I'll protect you, I'll protect you, my queen. No, I'm not saying I'm fucking white knighting this shit, but it's it's a genuine thing I think about all the time. I think I'm also kind of blessed that I am a brick shithouse. Okay, I always forget, right? Because I always see bullshit happening around me, and I'll admit it. I have been and this is not an Indian thing, by the way. I'm not talking about Indians. I'm talking about just crazy people in general. I've had a lot of crazy people say and do crazy shit around me to other people. I would come in to intervene, and then an immediate stop. They would say something to me, and then they just immediately stop. And I always forget, oh shit, I'm fucking big. I'm big and tall. My mother was telling me, she saw a road rage incident, and she goes to pull out her phone saying, I'm going to call the police. And it's like, mother, you're a fucking idiot. Don't do that. She's 5'4", and she's saying she's going to call the police. People, they will shoot you. All right. They have guns. People nowadays in Toronto have firearms. They're not legal. And they don't care. They will shoot you. They will attack. Hell, they will attack you. You're like this small little black lady. They will attack you. Not me though, because I'm huge. They don't all put up a fight unless they have a firearm. Then it's game over. That's why I got to start carrying body armor. You got to start carrying body armor, by the way. Like if you have like a plate carrier. I'm not saying like you have to wear a plate carrier, but like in your backpack. Like I have a military bag, right? There's a little slit in my backpack. There's a little piece of plastic. Just pull that out. You put in a plate carrier. Boom. It's like $150, $200, like, for some good body armor. That's the world we live in nowadays. Like, it's best to be as protective as possible. And especially for women, I can't say, especially like, follow your local laws, because here you're not allowed to carry a weapon for self-defense. You can't carry pepper spray unless, it's dog spray or bear spray. You can't carry you're not allowed to carry a knife for self-defense unless the only time you can carry a knife is like if you have it for work to open boxes. And you're not allowed to hold a gun just at all. And also here, what else can you not do? You can't you basically just can't have a weapon for self-defense against another person, because that's illegal. You can't have it for another person. You can only have it for self-defense against, like animals like coyotes or raccoons. So if a cop pulls you over, it's like, oh, what do you have this weapon for? It's like, oh, it's for raccoons. Or, it's for like, coyotes or like, bears. People say Canada is a good place, just the US, but different country. Okay, the Canada has the advantage of better health. Like, okay, obviously our healthcare is better. It's backed up, but it's better. You're not going into debt. The problem with the US system is, and when I say you're not going into debt, I mean is if you're middle class, you're not going into debt. The problem with the United States healthcare system is if you're too poor, you're fine. If you're too rich, you're fine. But if you're just somewhere in the middle, you're screwed. And I think that's that stems from like lack of knowledge to navigating the healthcare system. Here, it's a little easier because you don't have to navigate it that much. You do have to navigate it, but you also don't. Some provinces like British Columbia and Ontario have introduced private healthcare. So that's just a new thing we're going to have to navigate. And I'm all for it, by the way, because I think that there is a huge system backup. And I think that the healthcare system has utterly failed. But like that's kind of like the one advantage. And I say this, it's going private. I don't think it's going to be as bad as like how it is now in the States, where like, oh shit, everything is like costing an arm and a leg. I think you should probably look towards countries like Germany, where it's a private/public. I think it's a private/public system, but like you still pay a fee, right? So that way you're not having people like going in there for stupid reasons. So I think that's like the main issue. Or at least one of the issues. The main issues is like, there's a lack of doctors. I hear somebody knocking. It just ruined my train of thought. My phone's going off. But yeah, that's about it. Healthcare, you know what? I can't think of anything else. It is really the same. It has been too, because a lot of Canadians think like, oh, don't make it American style. Don't make it like the US. We don't want to become like the US. But they don't really know that the US has become a lot like Canada. The United States over the years have brought in a ton of social services, right? Like Medicare, Social Security, the welfare system. Like this whole thing of like American, like, oh, don't make us like America, is simply it's backwards. And it really is, it's really blindsided because they haven't seen a lot of the progress made in the United States. Like there's still this misconception about the United States where like everything is like, all fucking insane. The only difference I could think of is like guns. Like in the United States, like there's a lot more guns per capita, but to me that's not really a negative. I mean, sure, you do have a lot of situations where, more people there's a lot more shootings, but that's because of a lack of security. We have a lot of security. Here's the thing. It's interesting because I keep hearing stories of like, oh, this and that's happening. But it's like, you guys have no security. Here, there's a lot of security. The church has security. My school has security. They're not armed security, but they're security nonetheless. They are a deterrent. But I think it's also because I think like at some point, they are going to start introducing like, or like they're going to start giving these security guards guns because there's going to be a lot more problems coming in. But anyway, I digress. We'll continue.
A lot more of this like predatory behavior from these newcomer groups of people, and I think it's just so terrible how they can hide behind something like racism, and women who have been like actually groped in a bar are not allowed to come out and say this or say that we feel uncomfortable. And I don't even feel safe going to bars anymore.
You absolutely are allowed to talk about this. Stop letting these people hide behind calling you racist. You aren't the only one noticing. It's not racist to say, hey, a bunch of Indians recently moved here and they're throwing trash everywhere. I mean, if they want to live in human waste, then they can go back to India. Here's the cleanest river I was able to find.
But
now is not the time to be afraid to speak up. And by the way, all of the Indians who don't disrespect the countries they immigrate to hate this.
I even asked my coworker, like, why? If these are holy waters, why do you treat it like this? You want to know what he said? I don't know. What the fuck? Not even Indians know why they're doing this.
Behavior because it makes them look bad. So they will full on support you when you call it out. Now, before I show this next video, it's a little confusing at the start. So to be clear, this Indian woman is criticizing people who litter.
I will throw garbage on the road. I pay my taxes. The government has hired sanitation workers. They should do their job. If the road is dirty, it's not my fault. I will dirty it anytime. Now, this is the kind of the mentality that Indians feel entitled towards. We should do our bit and understand what is the right or clean habit.
Well, actually, let me add a bit more nuance because in the full video, she says that she had dirty habits but fixed them after criticism, and as a result, she was explaining the entitled mentality.
I have dirty habits too, by the way. Like, I have dirty habits. My room was a fucking mess. I had to clean my room because I don't like streaming with a messy room. I made sure my bed was made. I made sure that my background is clean. Like, it's a little... Even this is bothering me. I'm a clean freak, but I'm also very fucking dirty. Like, it is a mentality, and it does have to be corrected. It's not just also, it's just a thing that, like, people have to do in general. Like, you have to just make sure that your surface and your life is clean.
That a lot of Indians have on this issue. Another bullying success story. I swear a bunch of Twitter racists are going to end up saving India from infectious disease, as many Indians in the comments say they're working on sanitation anytime someone shows a trash pile on social media. So it's not bad to call this stuff out because it makes things better for everyone, and good people appreciate it when boundaries are set. As for the bad ones, I don't care about them.
By the way, people have their feet up on, like, they're on park benches and they're taking their shoes off and they're putting their feet up on park benches. They're littering. They're just throwing their shit down on the ground. Sometimes they'll throw it at you without even, like, looking. I respect for the people immigrating from different countries, but please respect the people you're immigrating to. Yeah, exactly. Why is that so bad? Like, if I were to... You know what the biggest thing is in Quebec right now? The biggest thing in Quebec that they're mad about is everybody is going to Quebec and they're not speaking French. Right? Like, because the reason why I'm bringing this up, right? Because, like, you're in... Because Louisiana, for example. The biggest thing with Louisiana is the French language is essentially dead. Like, only 13% of the population can speak French. That is a French state. And they've done everything to get rid of French in their constitution. The Germans came, they ruined it. They got rid of it. They went through a whole cultural, like, essentially a cultural genocide in Louisiana. And French is now, like, such a fringe language. The only time you can find it is in, like, old texts. Very few families who were descendants, like, who were descendants of the French settlers there. And also just, in the architecture. Quebec, on the other hand, like, I think what Quebec has done is they saw what happened to the Louisiana sector, like to the Louisiana territory, and they said we do not want that. Right? Like it's like from Louisiana all the way up to Detroit, right? Louisiana is the stronghold. Detroit was like the most northern part of the Louisiana territory. So like Michigan, and nobody even thinks about the French in those parts anymore. They don't even know that like Detroit is a French word, Detroit. It doesn't even like come into anyone's mind. So I think Quebec sees that and they want to like, you know, keep that culture ingrained. And I understand it. Again, I think they're going a little overcorrectional with it, but I understand why they're doing it, especially nowadays, because it's like everyone's coming in and it's like they don't speak French. What the fuck? You come into the French part of the country and you can't even speak French. But you know, the whole thing with like signs and everything, like the laws on that, I kind of find a little ridiculous. But you know, I digress.
Throw them in prison if they break the law, or deport them if they refuse to assimilate. And the consequences of not staying silent on this is that you get to live in a nice place.
Okay, everybody, I'm here in Seoul, South Korea. As you can see, everyone, they have these like inflatable cushy chairs.
Oh shit,
everyone is reading. This would last about 35 seconds.
There's still some we know, but it's the
most American cities. You can have nice stuff. Crime is a choice. We shouldn't put up with it. South Korea doesn't. We shouldn't either.
Right, Charlie. We shouldn't have to put up with crime, and South Korea is not the only place like that. Recently, I was in Japan, and I have to say that the cities are extremely safe and clean there. That being said, before I play this next clip, I just want to give a little trigger warning because you could never do this in America. This is how safe Japan is.
When people leave their bags or wallets or personal items on tables in Japan, more often than not, you might be thinking, oh, I've probably forgotten it. I should do something. I should grab it and run off with it and show the shop staff. Don't do that, because 9 times out of 10, it's somebody who has reserved that table using their own possessions.
Let me repeat that. It is so safe in Japan that you can leave your wallet or your phone on a table out in the open, go to the bathroom.
You leave your wallet or your phone on the table in the open here, you're not going to find it. It's never going to come back. It's going to be somebody on an e-scooter or a bike, swipes that shit, and then fucks off. Right? Like, the only way you're going to find that phone is on the fucking black market. Either that or in a pawn shop.
And no one will try to steal it. And again, as someone who has been there, I have to say that it is uncanny to be able to walk into a public park in the middle of a city at 2 a.m. and no one tries to stab you. The dark alleyways at 2 a.m. are safe too. In fact, it is so safe in Japan that it is very common for Japanese people to pass out drunk on the street, get a full 8 hours, and wake up perfectly unharmed. But that doesn't mean that there aren't bad actors trying to disrupt that peaceful environment. Japan is currently going through a pretty big birthing crisis, and instead of, maybe writing some workers' rights legislation to make it illegal for asshole bosses to abuse their employees with 5 hours of unpaid overtime every day, like how is that legal? So instead of learning the principle of diminishing returns, the Japanese government has decided to fix the birthing crisis with immigration, which sounds sinister. That brings us to this tweet here. You wish this was Pakistan, but it's Hokkaido, Japan. Then it shows a bunch of Middle Easterners mixed in with Japanese people. And actually, in my opinion, one of the most frustrating parts of my recent vacation.
You tried forcing one of the most racist societies on this planet to integrate with a people's and with a culture so different, so vastly different from theirs. And you're not expecting protests? You're not expecting pushback?
Is that you could be in Japan and have to do like a dice roll to see if you would actually bump into a Japanese person, which is quite annoying when you've studied the language for a bunch of years and you're trying to figure out if you're on the right train platform, and oh shit, none of these people speak Japanese. On top of that, our resident Twitter Korean, Kangmin Lee, points out that this is not just a problem in Japan. He says, every third person I see in Seoul is a foreigner, and I'll leave that second half for later in the video.
Oh boy.
But in response to that, I have to say that you shouldn't feel like a foreigner in your own country.
Oops,
I mean, I think the biggest culture shock when I moved to Texas is that I was expecting to see Texans, but ended up getting a bunch of Indian and halal restaurants instead. Then I go to Japan last month and see a bunch of Indian and halal restaurants and signs that say porkless ramen. Now, while I do like Middle Eastern
what the fuck
food,
is porkless
I don't eat Indian
ramen?
food for obvious reasons.
Tony, you ate mussels?
Prince Edward Island. Top of the line.
After an entire Indian dinner?
You ate at an Indian restaurant? There you go.
So while I do like Middle Eastern food, I don't think you should be importing so many foreigners that it completely changes the demographics of the native population. legal
The
or
culture is
illegal.
built on
Given
respect
the massive
and
numbers
transparency. Yeah.
arriving in Western nations daily, well,
Like
indeed,
actually, that's the biggest problem with Japan. The biggest problem with not Japanese people, but with Japanese culture. Right, not the people. By the way, don't misinterpret. Don't take out what I say. Don't try to turn. I know you guys aren't going to try to spin it anywhere, but I know somebody out there will spin it. The biggest problem with Japanese culture is in one of their biggest, actually one of their best parts of their culture is also their biggest downfall. And same thing with Canada is the respect. It's their niceness. Right, like they are built so much on respect in Japan that it's created like a cultural hierarchy that's essentially it's now eating itself and it's ruining itself. So for example, right, if somebody, all right, let's say like a 7-Eleven worker, if they for any reason offended some guy, like like a customer, businessman, old man, whatever, that old man is and they're entitled. They are. Like I saw a video of a guy who was not being served and they told him to leave and he fucking destroyed the entire bar. And the guy just had to keep apologizing and asking him politely, like, please, sir, please don't break it. He's like bowing to the guy. And it's like, this guy, if he did that here, not only would he be kicked out, he will be beat the fuck up and kicked out. They will rough his ass up and then throw him out. The bouncers will not play with that shit. If you harass the employees have the right to refuse service. Not in Japan. That's their biggest problem. Right? There's this whole hierarchy and this whole thing of like respect. And that kind of goes back to what he was saying, where like 5 hours of unpaid overtime. Like there, it's seen as a privilege to be working more for like 5 more hours. Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, we'll talk about Dearborn in a minute. That is their biggest problem, right? That's something that should be like, kind of saying, I understand though, like, the whole thing of respect, right? Like, you got to respect your elders. You got to respect, those who are wealthier, who have put a lot more into society. Cause it's like, there's a whole hierarchy of people who give to the society. I get that. I understand that. But it's like when you start having people abusing those under, it doesn't help society. It makes it worse. If you start demoralizing the little guy, they will revolt. Maybe it's not even like not even like a direct revolt, but like, quality of service, quality of life does tend to go down.
For many in the West, the sheer size of those arriving is a level where locals are beginning to feel like outsiders in their own communities, as approximately 22% of Indians expressed a desire to migrate to the United States alone, which is almost the current population of the country in 2025.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, stay in India. I'm all for cultural enrichment, but you can't just let an infinite amount of people into a country. In fact, as for the U.S., I think we might actually be in a place where we should allow 0 people to immigrate, because you need to give time for the newcomers to learn the language and to assimilate to American values.
California is a cluttered state with social services that are being strained, and we need a pause on all immigration, in my opinion, to metaphorically digest the major meal that we just ate, or else we are going to have a major assimilation problem, cultural problem, cohesion problem, all sorts of issues. And I know this is a provocative thing to say, but immigration is something that you use as a way to benefit the homeland. You don't have to have immigration.
Right. I don't care if your country of origin sucks, especially if you are not in the U.S. legally. I'm not as empathetic towards outsiders like the average libtard is, because America can't afford to be, and I don't want people here if they aren't immigrating to make my homeland better. Also, if you want to talk about morality, then instead of fleeing the country that you were born in, how about you fight to improve it?
And so legal immigration should always be viewed through the prism, does it benefit the country and the citizens that are already here?
Right. Again, if the answer is no, then you don't get to come here. Like, if I'm going to move to Japan, I don't move there to steal resources from taxpayers and take their jobs for significantly lower wages. If I'm moving, then I'm moving to 1, learn new cultural values to assimilate to, and 2, benefit Japan as a whole. So if you're immigrating legally or illegally...
Yeah, I find it weird. I find it odd how a lot of people like say, oh, I want to move to Japan. Right? I want to move to Japan. Japan's so awesome. I can't move to Japan. Why? 1, I don't speak Japanese. 2, I'm not Japanese. 3, I'm like half black. So they don't like black people. That's black enough. They will not like me there. I'm willing to visit. I think I'll have fun if I visit, but I don't think I could live there. I don't think, like, I'm built for Japan. That's not wrong for me to say. Nothing wrong with Japan. I think Japan's a beautiful country, beautiful people, beautiful culture, beautiful women. You know, I fucking love baby metal. Who here doesn't love baby metal? That shit's awesome. I love Japan. I love their video games. You know, I think some of their movies, right? Like Godzilla is fucking awesome. But I don't think I could live there. Again, because it's culturally different, and that's fine. But if I were willing to assimilate and adhere to that culture, I would. Nothing wrong with that
on
too.
The system or the people, then get out. Like, there shouldn't be a case where there are so many people immigrating that they can just live in their own isolated communities and never learn the country's language. And it's not just foreigners doing that in the U.S. There are plenty of white Americans who move to Japan, stay in their isolated communities for years, and never learn any Japanese. Kick those people out.
You know what's interesting? We all used to say that about Chinatown, right? Like, we all used to hate, like, oh my god, Chinatown, the Asian area, they don't know how to assimilate, they're just staying in their own lane, they're rude and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. There was like a neighborhood that I used to live in that was exactly like that. And they ran that bitch down. I go back there, and it's fucking awesome. It's beautiful. Right? The Chinese, the Japanese, and the Koreans all came together and were like, you know what? We're going to fucking make sure that we make this a little Asia, but it's still here. This is still, like, you know, the Americas. And it's awesome. You know, like, even Chinatown, like, downtown, like, on Spadina. It's Chinatown, but, like, it doesn't feel like you're in China. It feels like you're in Chinatown. You know what I mean? The people there are nice. They've assimilated to the culture, and they've made their own little pocket of Asian American culture. That right there is true, like, cultural enrichment. That right there is, like, it's cultural enrichment, and they're bringing more to society. You know, they're not tearing it down. That's like the biggest problem. And there's a lot of aspects in both of their cultures, and like all those countries that I mentioned in their cultures, there are downsides. Like I said, with the whole like I said, that negative aspect where, like, oh, we're built on respect to the point where people can harass the employees, or, like, you know, vice versa. That doesn't happen anymore. If you're rude to them, they will throw you out. They are rude back. Like that, you get my meaning? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
If you've been living in Japan for 5 or 10 years, then you should be able to speak Japanese fluently at a high level. I don't care if it's hard. If it's too difficult, then don't move there. And by the way, I think a lot of Japanese people would agree with that, as while I was in Osaka, there was an anti-immigration protest going on.
Isn't it weird too how, like, Charlie Kirk has, like, been the face all across the world? Like Canada, the UK, Korea, Japan. Everybody's screaming this man's name. That right there, that's like, you could start a religion off of that. Oh, hold on. Like, yo, we're gonna start a new sect of Christianity. You know how, like, there's like Martin Lutheranism, right? Like Martin Luther. Like, there's Lutheran doctrine, Lutheranism, Catholicism. Not Catholicism, is it Christianity or Catholicism? You know what I mean. Lutheran, and that bred its whole different sects. We're going to have Kirkism now.
Moving on, let's go back to the second half of that tweet that I didn't read. Every third person I see in Seoul is a foreigner, and there are way too many people in hijabs here. How dare he say that? That's Islamophobic. Again, I don't give a shit anymore, especially considering that Muslims hate everything while having the audacity to call you a bigot. Now, that's not to say that I have an issue with all Muslims, but when it comes to letting infinite people into the West, and I guess the East now too, there must be consideration for the fact that Islam has a shitload of radicals in it who want to take over first world countries and institute an incredibly oppressive system called Sharia law.
Every
Look at Dearborn.
ideal nightmare of a Muslim Europe will come true. They can be as mad as they want. I don't care. America will be a Muslim country. Russia will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house. We have to be a part of that change and never, ever apologize. We're unapologetic. Never, ever compromise We're uncompromising.
Right, and I'm going to be unapologetic and uncompromising when I say that you can get the hell out of my country. How dare these people respond to criticism by screaming Islamophobia like crying children when they openly say shit like this?
The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, if the Muslims have authority and they have the ability to remove oppression, they must remove the oppression. So we believe man-made law is oppression because they are implementing non-Islamic law, violating their own.
I hope that's that's not the Onion logo. Christian broadcast. Oh, this is a real network. I honestly thought this was an Onion post for a second. I thought there's no way he used an Onion post. That's not the Onion. This is real. Never mind.
Sanctity. So, if we are in a position of power and authority, we are obliged to take that authority, with the minimum force and to implement the Sharia, certainly. So, this will be the case one day in Britain. And I hope that can come in a very peaceful way. I hope that we can do that in a way, where there's no bloodshed.
That interview was from 2012, so this is nothing new from Islam. They've been saying this stuff publicly for a long time. But let me translate this for you to remove all the polite bullshit. He is kindly saying that if you don't accept Islam, they will kill you. But they'll peacefully kill you because Islam is a religion of peace. Sarcasm aside, pushing back against people who want you dead for believing different things is not big.
You know what the biggest irony is? Sending soldiers as peacekeepers. Sending militaries as peacekeepers. Like the UN sending in soldiers to keep the peace, that makes no sense. Am I the only one who sees that it's kind of weird? I mean, how the fuck are they going to keep the peace? You're just spending money on bringing soldiers to a place. What are they going to do? The only way to keep the peace is by being violent. I get it. It's peace through strength. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense.
They are the assholes. So there's tons of videos of radical Islamists talking about taking down the West. And to that I'll say, if you want to live under Islam, then go to the Middle East. Go to Africa. No one's stopping you. These people are not trying to assimilate to our values. They're trying to take over so they can force.
You know what? Okay, we're gonna track a little bit differently, because this kind of goes into one of the videos I wanted to look at. So this is in Canada. This is the Canadian House of Commons, or it's like the House of Representatives. So, you have people left, right? They'll argue, they'll talk with the speaker, and they'll bring up bills and issues, etc. So this is Larry Brock. He is a conservative MP. He brought up something about the rise of anti-immigrant hate, anti-Asian hate, Islamophobia. Here's one that he brought up that was interesting. He brought up anti-Christian hate. So I don't know. The numbers are skewed. But one consistent factor with all the numbers is they're in the hundreds, right? In the last 3 years, hundreds of churches have been burned. I can count the amount of synagogues and mosques burned on my hands, but the amount of churches, I'm being told it's in the hundreds, which would make sense because, this is a country built on Catholicism, Now, what I'm getting at is, there's a lot more churches to burn than there are mosques and synagogues to burn. But, it doesn't matter. We're still burning places of worship. And the government's saying nothing on it. Actually, they're laughing about it. Here it is.
Resuming debate, the honourable member for Brantford, Brant, Six Nations.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. A couple of housekeeping matters to address. Seeking consent from the House to be able to split my time.
Does the honourable member have consent to split his time?
Why is it black?
I thank my colleagues, and I'll be splitting my time with mon collègue du Mont.
My colleague, the member for Montmorency-Charlevoix.
I'll have to work on my French. So, Madam Speaker, it's always a pleasure to rise and speak on behalf of the incredible residents that put me in this incredible position to represent them in the House of Commons. Today I rise to speak to this government bill, Bill C-9, the Combating Hate Act. Let me begin where I think all of us in this House can agree. We support the objective of protecting vulnerable communities from the rising levels of hate and extremism that we see literally daily in this country. We support giving police and prosecutors the tools they need to keep Canadians safe from coast to coast, in their homes, in their schools, in their places of worship, and in community spaces. But, Madam Speaker, this bill itself is currently flawed in its current form. It cannot go ahead as the Liberals have drafted it, and it is my duty today to explain why. First, we need to talk about timing. Where was this legislation almost 2 years ago? We are about to not celebrate, but to approach the October 7th massacre in Israel. So where was this government in terms of advancing legislation? Because literally overnight we saw an expansion of hatred directed towards Jewish peoples. And it wasn't in just large cities, it just penetrated the entire country. Jewish Canadians were targeted in their communities. Students were harassed simply for going to school. Synagogues across this country were being shot at a regular basis, being firebombed. They had to increase their level of security. Where was this Liberal government to address these criminal acts?
Here's what they did. They put the fucking Israeli flag on Parliament. Like, that's gonna do something. You just put a fucking target on Canada. You know, I think we should have remained partisan, in my opinion. But you put a big target on us, and now look what's happening. Like, that's what happened.
Where were the Liberals as Islamophobia rose in Canada, when mosques were threatened, when Muslim families felt unsafe simply walking in their neighborhoods? And let's not forget, there's absolutely zero reference to Christianity. Christianity is under attack in this country. I don't know what was funny about Christianity being under attack, but nevertheless.
They fucking laughed. They excuse me. So your reaction to hearing about Christians getting attacked is to laugh. This is an elected official. This is somebody representing their constituents. And they fucking laughed. What the fuck is wrong with you? People are getting killed. They're getting attacked. Churches are being set ablaze. And your reaction, your initial reaction, your gut reaction is to laugh. Shame on you. That is disgraceful. Whoever that MP is should be fucking disavowed and dis-fucking-barred. Not disbarred. Like, removed from office. Fired. Fire him or her.
I don't know.
Listen.
Is under attack in this country.
Like, two of them. I think it's like two people laughing. What is wrong with you? And the fact that, like, nobody here said anything. Like, I don't know whether or not to be mad about that. Like, he said something. I don't know what's funny about that. But it's like, I wouldn't have fucking let that go. It's like, don't laugh. I would put them on the spot. That's just me, though. Like, you know, honestly, I guess kudos to you for, like, you know, remaining cordial. But that's disgusting. They laughed. I don't feel comfortable anymore. I don't feel comfortable living in my own country. Because the people running it will laugh at people who think like me, who believe in the same God as me, are getting attacked. They laugh.
I don't know what was funny about Christianity being under attack, but nevertheless, Madam Speaker, churches have been burned. Christian churches have been burned at an alarming rate. Between May of 2021 and December of 2023, 33 Christian churches have been burned in this country, with the vast majority being arson-based. For years, communities cried out for protection. What they got instead from their federal Liberal government
was a laugh.
Was silence.
No. Don't say it was silence. You know what? He had a perfect way to change what he says on there. The only response that they got was laughter. Not silence. Silence would have been better. They got laughter. That's evil. How dare you? How dare you? Nobody's mad about this enough. I don't think anybody's mad enough about this. I don't think anybody, even in the Liberal Party, is mad enough about this. There's got to be some normal people on the left, in the Liberal side, on the Liberal caucus. There's got to be some normal people there to condemn this. I hope. If not, then this country is doomed. How can you do that? How could you support that? Like, good Lord.
And now, years late, the government has tabled a bill that, quite frankly, feels more like a political gesture than a serious plan.
It is a political gesture.
Make no mistake, Madam Speaker, the numbers are alarming. Since 2015, police reported hate crimes in Canada have increased by 258%. Anti-Semitic hate crimes alone are up 416%. Hate crimes against South Asians have risen by almost 380%.
Jesus.
In 2024 alone, Canada saw almost 5,000 police-reported hate crimes, the highest number on record. In Toronto alone, hate crime occurrences jumped by 19% in a single year, with assault-related hate crimes rising by 42%. These numbers are not just statistics, they represent real Canadians, our neighbors, our friends, our co-workers, our children, who all deserve confidence knowing that they are safe and secure.
They're not.
This is why Conservatives have been abundantly clear. We support stronger protections. But supporting that objective does not mean rubber stamping a flawed piece of legislation. What are the problems with Bill C-9? The bill as drafted is vague and broad. Civil liberty organizations...
Anything that is like a direct call to violence? No, not good. If it's a direct call to violence against any particular person or group, that should not be accepted. That is not acceptable. Like, I can understand that. But however, I think individuals should have better protections to self-preservation and self-protection. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Across Canada have already raised the alarm. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association has warned that the intimidation and obstruction provisions risk capturing peaceful protest and legitimate dissent. The BC Civil Liberties Association said the same. The poorly drafted language could criminalize demonstrations even when they are peaceful and lawful. These are independent organizations dedicated to protecting charter rights, and they are telling us loudly that Bill C-9 risks going too far. As you've heard by way of questioning to the minister, the removal of Attorney General consent for hate propaganda charges. Police officers and prosecutors I have spoken with see that consent as an important safeguard, a so-called safety valve that ensures these powerful tools are not misused. And the minister, in response to a question from my colleague from York Centre, in my view, minimized the potential consequential impact of
removing... Are they still laughing? Are they still fucking laughing?
Removing Attorney General consent from private prosecutions. His response was, we want to remove the political influence. As a former member of the Attorney General's office in the province of Ontario, I'm rather offended by that, because he is indicating that my boss at that time, the provincial Attorney General, was highly political. and his consent or her consent to continuing a prosecution was made depending on what political affiliation he or she belonged to. That is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It is a safety valve that has been in place for some significant time. It is not an onerous requirement, and it ensures that legitimate charges are prosecuted as laid by the police, but more importantly, it will limit and almost completely eliminate overzealous litigants, private litigants who feel for whatever reason that they want to lay a private complaint against another individual for comments that they deemed to be offensive in the circumstances. So it provides a very important safeguard, Madam Speaker.
You know what this means, though? This means that if anybody on Twitter is calling to action against Jews and Christians, we can use it against them. I don't want this to be in place, but if they're going to start coming after us for our speech, go after them for their speech. Fuck it. That's the level we're at now. And I mean, I don't want that to happen. I don't want this. You don't want this. None of us want this. Even the crazies don't want this. This is ridiculous.
The third problem I identify is the definition of hatred, and I kind of raised this issue already with the minister. C9 has drafted, the government indicates, the minister just indicated that it codified the definition of hatred as found in the Supreme Court of Canada as being defined as detestation or vilification. On its face, this seems consistent, but by removing the word extreme in the definition by learned justices in the Supreme Court of Canada, this government has lowered the legal threshold, enabling police to lay a multitude of charges at a lower level of inspection and investigation, which in my view could open up the floodgates for litigation. That is a concern.
Not could, it will.
When they say
No. The language you're using is not absolute. You have to use absolute language. It's not it could, it will. It has been done before. Look at the UK. Look at Australia. Look at China. There's no it could. There's only it will. It will happen. Like, be absolute with it. Be 100%. It will cause issues. It will cause litigation for any minor infraction.
They codify, they should be using the exact words in the Supreme Court of Canada. The risk is that speech that is protected in a free democracy could be swept into a different category as true hate. This is not what Canadians want. It is not what our charter says. Let me be clear. Conservatives support the goal of keeping Canadians safe.
if they want to do this whole thing with hate, then they should be arrested then. The ones who laughed should be arrested, because I found that offensive and I don't feel safe. I felt that was hateful. If you want to play these games, I'll play them too. And I will make sure I come out on top.
From hate-motivated crime, we support police and prosecutors having the tools
I don't
they
want
need
these
to
games,
act.
by the way.
We support ensuring synagogues, mosques, cultural centers, and schools are safe, but we also support protecting civil liberties. And I see my time is coming to a fast end, so I'm going to conclude with the following. Canadians deserve protection from hate. They need to feel safe wherever they may be. They deserve to live in a country where freedom of speech and peaceful protests are respected. Bill C9 as drafted does not get that balance right. It is flawed. It is late. It cannot proceed in its current form. We support protecting Canadians from threats, intimidation, obstruction, and violence, but we will not rubber stamp a flawed bill. We will stand up for vulnerable communities and for civil liberties. We will push for a law that truly represents and protects Canadians without undermining the freedoms they defined as a country. That is our commitment, that is our responsibility, and that is the balance Canadians expect us to strike. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Madam Speaker, in consultations for this piece of legislation, we heard from many Jewish organizations, and one issue that they brought up was that having to have the charge cleared through the Attorney General had made it so cumbersome that no charges were ever laid. So although there are provisions even currently for hate crimes, not a standalone one like this bill creates, it was very rarely enforced, and the community felt oftentimes threatened, intimidated, and the victims of hate crimes that were never prosecuted in court. I want to know what my colleague feels about those.
I can say why. You're not going to like it when I say why, and your bill isn't going to fix it. I can tell you why. I'm not going to say it because I know you know why, and there's no point for me to say it. I think you know why they don't feel safe. This bill is just, a fucking Band-Aid on a bullet wound. I'm not going to say why because I'm not wasting my breath on it, but you know why. Fuck you.
Comments that came from Jewish organizations.
Member for Brantford, Brent South, Six Nations.
I've got several responses. Firstly, I thank my friend for asking that particular question. So I want to highlight again.
No, they're not your friends. Don't be nice to them. Don't be nice. If they're gonna be assholes, don't be nice to them anymore. You can be respectful to them. Don't be hurtful and don't be mean to them. Be respectful. But I'm not calling you my friend at this point. If you're gonna laugh in my face about people getting attacked, you've lost that privilege of being called like my friend. I don't care what we're talking about, what religion. Like, come on. If you're unironically just laughing at this, like, no.
Obtaining Attorney General consent is not a cumbersome process. There are a number of potential prosecutions and offenses currently in the criminal code that already require Attorney General consent. So the issue that is too timely, it will delay a potential prosecution, I can lay to rest because that is not reality. The other issue that she raises is whether or not the issue of private prosecutions can be overcome by the Attorney General consent. And as I indicated in my speech, Madam Speaker, that raises the specter of overzealous litigants simply abusing the process. The Act is currently stated that this particular form of hatred needs to be attached to another offense of any other act of Parliament. So that could include our political opponents under the Elections Act. There could be numerous examples where things that are said under the guise of freedom of expression can be determined by a political opponent to be vilified or somehow a detestation element, and therefore they want to proceed with the prosecution. That is why you need Attorney General consent.
Member for Jonquière.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. As we said, this bill does have some merit. It needs to be studied at committee. Earlier, the minister, in responding to two questions, said he was ready to look at the religious exemption with respect to studies at committee. I'm wondering, is the Conservative Party also open to this and ready to review the religious exemption that is given when hateful symbols are shown?
Brantford South, Six Nations.
Nothing is off the table.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Edmonton Centre. I said Edmonton West, I'm sorry.
Not to worry, Edmonton Centre will be Conservative again, I'm sure, in the next election. I want to thank my colleague for his speech, and he brought up the issue of churches being burnt down. Now, we've seen a massive increase in hate attacks across the country since this government took power. Increase in hate attacks across the country. He brought up the issue of churches being burnt down. Now, we've seen a massive increase.
Okay, they didn't laugh. They didn't laugh this time. Okay.
And hate attacks across
Good, we
the country.
learned. We don't laugh.
Since this government took power 10 long years ago. I wonder if my colleague could comment on what has taken the government, or why it's taken them so long to act, and also the previous Prime Minister's comment about burning churches down was, quote, fully understandable.
I'm sorry, what?
Churches down was, and also the previous Prime Minister's comment about burning churches down was, quote, fully understandable.
He said that? I didn't know he said that. I didn't know he said that, chat. Wow. That's fucked.
Member for Brentford, Brent South, Six Nations.
I find Justin Trudeau's comments in this House and outside this House with respect to the burning down of Christian churches to be absolutely repulsive. It was a disgusting statement by the head of a G7 country. And in my view, it's emblematic of how this particular government has vilified Christianity in the House of Commons.
They're laughing.
Every time a church was burned, we would be bringing it up in the House of Commons, trying to elicit response from this government, and nothing but crickets. Nothing but crickets.
No, don't say nothing but crickets. They freaking laughed 10 minutes ago. Not even, like 10, 12 minutes ago. They laughed. Stop lying. Stop saying, oh, they said nothing. No. They laughed.
It's on that side, which is disgusting, Madam Speaker.
But yeah, Larry Brock, everybody. No, they laughed. They said nothing. They said plenty. Ha ha.
Actually impose their values, and they're already doing that. It's already bad in Europe where they're just taking over entire cities and replacing the local government with Sharia law. And in America, they're slowly trying to do the same.
I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other here in Minnesota and back home, and I ask for your support. There's always been a link between our community here as well as back home, and I'm running to bridge that gap and unite all of us, and I'm hoping to do that just like Abdrazak, inshallah.
What do you mean back home? If you consider Somalia to be your home, then go there. Get out of America. I mean, I was born in California, but when I say home, I don't mean California anymore. I mean Texas. I moved here for a reason, and I moved here to become a Texan and absorb their values because Texan values have led to a better state, in my opinion. Well, except for Jasmine Crockett. Texas screwed up on that one. But as for America, I don't want people here who consider themselves to be something else before they consider themselves to be Americans. Also, nothing has run positive PR for Islam like the Free Palestine movement has. And I will say that war is horrible, but the minute that you guys start promoting terrorism in the U.S., which they do constantly, is the minute they lose sympathy from me. And personally, I think we should deport every person in this country who is not a U.S. citizen if they support terrorism in the U.S. Get these people out of the country. They do not belong in civilized society. And if they want to go live in a war zone, then the world outside of America has a lot of great options. But I mean, these Free Palestine people are everywhere. They were in Japan when I was there, which was weird, because what the hell does Israel or Palestine have to do with Japan? And I mean, you can't even buy a phone without one of these asshole activists saying that you're pro-genocide.
All right, just like last year and previous years before that, it's iPhone Day.
That's...
What the fuck? What the fuck? Plain Rock 124. What the fuck? Bro's a fucking tech tuber and he's getting on political. What the fuck? He's just buying a phone. Hold on. Oh, I'm getting a message from a friend. Hold on. Asking me if I want food. It's like, dog, I'm streaming right now. I'm streaming. I can't. I can't even order food. Fuck, how am I gonna eat, actually? Shit. I didn't think this far.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get him on. Let me see if I can get him on. Give me 1 second, chat. Yeah, we'll see if we can get him on. Actually, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go refill my water canteen. BRB, chat. BRB. We're back, chat. We're back. I got the Holly Bibble, by the way. Chat. We gotta get some. You know what? I'm gonna save some money. I'm gonna save some money. I'm gonna get a stream deck. That's what we need. The streams would be so much better, I think, if we have a stream deck. It'd make my life so much easier. Like, you know, hit a button on the stream deck, throw up some graphics or whatever, keep you guys entertained. I want to make sure the streams are more entertaining in the future. I'll work on that.
Specific protest was for Africa, but these people all have the exact same beliefs, so I guarantee you that chick has a watermelon in her profile. 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now a Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. This is in reference to Zohran Mamdani, and this tweet is showing its age a bit because I believe Mamdani is actually going to win at this point. And we have Harry Sisson, who always just has the best takes on Twitter, saying, Charlie Kirk is a sick, racist piece of trash. Just put the Klan hood on already, Charlie. Wow, that escalated quickly.
Wow.
Also, may I remind everyone that it was the Democrats that founded the KKK, and it was the Republicans who died.
Also, there's nothing wrong with eating on stream. It's just I don't have food. I don't have food. I don't know how I'm going to eat on stream. I need food.
I wasn't sure if Harry knew that history. Outside of that, shut up. No one cares. Go back to pretending that you like women. And by the way, just in case you were blackpilled on all this and don't understand the power of giving these people the middle finger, allow me to point you to Dearborn, Michigan, which has a high Muslim population, and they seem to be doing things like slowly taking over the government and the police force. Some of the native population isn't too happy about that. This guy wrote some pretty angry posts on Facebook, which I think are bad. However, much to probably the dismay of people on the right who want to criticize the left for their violent words, this is currently considered protected speech, unless it's a direct, credible threat or an incitement that leads to an act of violence soon after it was said. Even though that's the case, he was still arrested. So
Wait, what? And he's trying. Commander Isa Shahin, who was served with the Dearborn Police since 1998, will be the first Muslim to lead the department, and he is believed to be the first Muslim police chief in the history of Michigan, said local community advocates. His appointment comes at a time when the city is seeing demographic changes and call for more diversity in the city's department. Mahmoud was the first Arab American and first Muslim elected mayor of Dearborn. Interesting.
Soon after it was said, even though that's the case, he was still arrested. So I have to say that if that guy got arrested for what he said on Facebook, is Dearborn going to arrest this guy too?
And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah, they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
I mean, he was more well-spoken, but make no mistake,
Oh,
this guy was
fuck.
also promoting violence, just like that guy on Facebook.
Yeah,
Are you going to arrest him too? Or are you racist assholes going to enforce the laws unequally when it comes to punishing your own? Anyway, Dearborn decided to start boiling the frog a bit by releasing an optional police badge with Arabic writing on it to show unity and diversity with the Arabic population, or some other bullshit lie they're using to slowly spread prejudice against anyone who isn't a part of Islam. However, it got so much backlash that they memory hold it a day later. And I'll say that if you guys want Arabic...
The city's mayor says the patch was only an idea and should never have been presented as official. Oh, that's not good. I can't lie, though. It looks kind of cool. I'm sorry. I'm going to offend some people. It kind of looks cool. I'm just saying it looks cool. I know there's a lot of, cultural clashes and a lot of cultural significance with it. I'm just saying it doesn't look bad. That's all I'm saying. With the Arabic writing and all that. I know there's a lot of a lot of meaning to it, but I'm just saying it looks good. And that's all I'm saying. I mean, it's a police badge. I like police. I like police and military shit. That's just me.
badges, then go back to the Middle East. This place is for
That's just 'cause I'm a
Americans,
nerd.
and clearly you don't consider yourself to be American. Do you see the power of not giving a shit if they call you racist? Also, by the way, these statements aren't racist, as it would be more...
Also, okay. The call to prayer thing is actually annoying. Oh, there's in my neighborhood. All right, I'm not gonna specify where, but I'm just gonna say in my neighborhood, there's a call to prayer, which I understand. It would happen the first couple of times. It's like, what's that noise? Oh, it's just a call to prayer. Okay, that's cool. There's a festival going on. There's some huge festival. I think there's a huge there's a huge population of Bangladeshi and Bangladeshi and Pakistani people in this neighborhood. So it's like, okay. And they like to party. Their music is bad, but it's fine, it's whatever. They don't do it for too long. Then they started doing it for too long. They started doing it from dawn till dusk. That's where I started to have a problem. And the other day, all day, from when I woke up to probably to when I went to bed. I went to bed early too. It was 7:30, 8 o'clock. I went to bed. I was hearing music and a call. I was hearing music and prayer all day. It did not stop. Just somebody singing out of tune, and it was bothering me. And I called the city and I said, hey, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but can this stop? And he's like, yeah, I understand. If you're doing that, you're being ridiculous. Nice guy, by the way. I'm not gonna get him in any shit. I'm not gonna say who it was. I don't want anybody to get in any shit. But fuck me. Who's that? Oh yeah, you're banned. Hate these freaking bots, man. I want real viewers. I don't want bots.
more than happy to accommodate Middle Easterners who want to be Americans. However, radical leftists are still going to call you a bigot anyway, so why even care at this point? Why are we letting them get away with these stupid policies?
Can someone smarter than me help me very genuinely understand why I'm supposed to care if people immigrate to the US illegally? Like, obviously some people are just racist and some people are just stupid. I don't understand why this should bother me in any way if as many people as want to come here. So if somebody could help me understand that, that would be great, because right now I just don't know why I should give a shit.
Nose ring, of course. However, why don't we educate her? This story is not from America, but it's from Europe, where in Germany, an illegal Iraqi migrant killed a 16-year-old Ukrainian girl by pushing her in front of a train. Remember when the left made Ukraine their entire personality? Anyway, it turns out that he had a deportation order, but it wasn't carried out.
I heard of
don't
this.
Worry,
I heard of
Germany.
this story.
Illegals who are supposed to be deported kill Americans too, so we can sympathize. So to answer Ms. Nosering's question, that's why.
I think we should abolish jail and we should allow all the violent immigrants.
We should allow them to what?
Stay here.
Do you think that we could abolish jails, get all the violent immigrants? Could we put them here at USF on campus?
Yes, and I'll hang out with them.
You'll hang out with
Are
them?
you retarded? This is why I don't want to go to college anymore. I don't want secondary education anymore. There's no point.
Would you take in a violent MS-13 gang member? Would you room with one?
People give people labels all the time, and gangs are there for a reason. Gangs are there for community.
I hate these.
Fuck, dude.
These people so much, bro. Like, and the reason why they advocate for things that will kill other people. That's the reason why I hate them. And they do it because it makes them feel good. Like, these people are sitting in some safe college campus. Nothing bad's ever going to happen.
Right. They sit in their nice neighborhoods saying this dogma so they can get social points among their idiot college friends. Meanwhile, their dumb ideas prey on lower income communities.
I have to ask. I know a girl, she's Nigerian. I have to ask, what the fuck is going on in Nigeria? I want to know. She's Christian and she's Nigerian. I want to know, because like there's a whole thing going on where like Nigerian Christians are getting attacked. I just saw the Nigerian flag and I just got curious. It just came back into my head. I want to ask my grandmother before she, like, because she's not doing so well, God bless her though. I want to ask her again though what she thinks about this, because every time I ask her, her opinion on immigrants change. I mean, it's been the same. It's like, this town used to be, it's funny hearing her. This woman is black from Jamaica, and she's always like, this town used to be nothing but white farmers. And now it's Asians. It's like, whoa, Grandma, what do you mean? It's like, no. It's a culture shift. That's what happens. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And right now, it's not going good. This is my grandmother, by the way. She is not from here. She is an immigrant as an immigrant can be. Okay? She was not born here. She was not raised here. My grandmother is an immigrant. Same thing with my mother. She wasn't born here. She wasn't raised here. Well, for the most part, I mean, she wasn't raised here. Like her formative years. Like, I mean, she moved here when she was like 9 or 10. So she moved here pretty young, but still wasn't born here. I mean, I'm not going to use my mother as an example. I'll use my grandmother as an example, though. I should call her. But even she is saying, like, something is wrong here. That's kind of ironic, too. Like, immigrants saying, like, well, there's too many immigrants. Not the first time I heard that. I heard a lot of immigrants say that. It's like, there's too many immigrants. It's like, the fuck? It's like, yeah, no, there's too many.
Who are actually affected by them. Also, continuing the conversation on illegals and migrants, I mean, like, watch any video about France, and you'll see it's full of migrants who are scammers, and the police just refuse to arrest or deport them.
How much for a big one?
Big one, 15 euros.
How much did you pay?
Small ones.
For how much?
1 euro this one.
Well, that's a pretty good deal. Could we do €3?
Look, my friend, camera. Gift camera.
If you have a camera of any sorts and they press you, they say you can't.
I'm in Paris. Fuck off. It's a tourist destination. People have cameras in my face all the time when I go downtown. Why? Because I live in a tourist destination. I live in a tourism city. Hell, somebody has a camera and pulls it up at my... like, people have cameras all the time. Fuck off, dude. You're not special.
Can't film. They say you can't do anything because it's their country now. I'm visiting. I can't take a fucking photo of the Eiffel Tower. The police, nowhere in sight. Please, God, deport them all. Holy shit.
I mean, scammers are so prevalent in Paris that it's a whole content meta that gets crazy views. People are.
I love it how like people like are trying to scam me in my own backyard. It's like, dude, can you piss off? Why? Shut the fuck up. I'm native. I'm local. Fuck you.
Are furious about this problem, but
Piss
Europe
off,
does
dude.
nothing to stop them. However, do you know who European governments will arrest? Teenage girls who try to stop migrants from assaulting their sisters.
Yes, you have enough.
No. That teenager. That's a preteen. That's a preteen.
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch it.
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my leg.
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister. She had fucking 12. Where's her fucking touching me? She has fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate.
The full facts of this story are a little murky because it's a recent event, but we do have an article from the Courier that says, Bulgarian dad branded as a monster over knife incident. Then they have this beautiful family picture. What a wonderful, innocent
Aww.
couple. Look at this happy photo here with the baby. Isn't that sweet? Oh shit, it looks like you forgot to cover up the neck tattoo in that one.
Oh. What the fuck is that?
Why didn't you guys show this photo in your article? Weird.
Oh, fuck. I still don't understand, actually. Oh, I see it. Oh, that's not good.
Anyway,
Gypsy
the
can-
girl with the
oh.
knife and the hatchet named Lola was arrested, and the suggestion
God
from the
damn.
old media outlets is that she was the aggressor. But considering that the girls are saying, get away from us, as the guy's moving towards a person with weapons, asking her to show them, which I imagine he did in an attempt to exonerate himself by getting her arrested.
And people wonder why the U.S. is so adamant about the Second Amendment. Why is the U.S. so adamant about the Second Amendment? Because they're not pulling out knives, they're pulling out fucking guns. You're gonna have, like, you know, fucking Nana is gonna be pulling out a goddamn Smith & Wesson out of her purse. You know, like, fucking Grandpa's got a Glock. No, shit like this doesn't happen in the U.S. Every time shit like this happens in the U.S., let's be honest, it's in the place where nobody has the guns, only the criminals. It's in the Democrat-run cities. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to be like, you know, left versus right here. I'm just speaking facts. If you're going like, you know, small town, middle America, you know, where the blacks and the whites hate each other, they don't do this. If anything, they would work together to get away from this.
Personally, I think he was the aggressor. You don't run unarmed towards a person with weapons if you're being victimized. Here's a retelling of the story from the mother of one of the girls where she adds more details. So I think the girls were telling the truth, and now supposedly this happy family man has been arrested and charged for assaulting one of them to the point of hospitalization. Why do we know all this?
I'm sorry, he hospitalized one? Oh, wait.
Because of Twitter. If it wasn't for Twitter, there probably would have been a very...
Oh, you said that wrong. You meant to say possibly only arrested, not charged. You only get charged after you get arrested.
different outcome here. But don't worry, because, you know, the British police are busy arresting people for making jokes.
We want bacon!
How can you arrest him for saying he likes bacon?
And what's that? You're not allowed to say you like bacon, but he's around here, lad.
Can you explain that to me, please? Yeah, so it's anything that might be perceived to be racially abusive.
This is unreal. That's a skit, right? Isn't this ridiculous? It's so ridiculous that I have multiple videos of people being arrested for offensive words.
Well, if you can back to me, you're under arrest for Section 4A public order offence. My colleague's going to tell you the circumstances for why you're being arrested.
Am I being arrested or being detained?
Been arrested, I've just said the caution.
Arrested? Well, what I've done? Tell me what I've done.
There's been a member of the public who you've apparently been shouting at calling him a muppet.
Right, I'm up it, yeah, and?
You caused him alarm and distress.
She's very upset
Right.
about it.
This is unbelievable. They're arresting this guy because he hurt someone's feelings.
This sounds like
That's
skit.
two of them. What the hell is going on in England? I mean, stuff like that makes this video incredibly ironic.
Would you move to America in 2025?
No, never. No.
No interest in moving there.
It's a complete hole.
No, because I am transgender.
You'd step over there and you already lose like 10 of the rights that you have.
I
just think they're the best. They're like, oh my god, we have freedom, but most other countries have freedom.
You don't have free speech at all there.
I wouldn't last in there. It's definitely stricter over there than it is over here.
I'll let the country that arrests people for saying they like bacon in front of a mosque construction site teach me what it means to be free. Anyway, let's talk about black people.
Black people
Oh
are
no.
13% of the...
Oh no. Oh no. No, not black. Oh no. I love black people. I am black. I love black people. Don't we love them? Can we get a hell yeah for our African Americans in the chat? Please. I'm not coping.
population, and they commit 50% of the murders. You can look it up.
Over, please.
Wait.
What?
What's your source?
The FBI, the Department of Justice. You look it up. Anyone can look it on your phone. It is a fact that blacks have a disproportionate amount of the violent crime in their community.
Y'all don't f***ing understand statistics. How you speak on numbers?
I wonder what it is in Canada. Percentage of... Okay, as of 2021 census, black Canadians make up approximately 4.3% of the total Canadian population. Okay. 4.3%. So they're 4% of the population. Police involved deaths accounted to 8.1% of such incidents. What? No. You're not asking. You're not asking. You're not answering. That's not an answer. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so here's the interesting part. In Canada, we make 4% of the population, but only 7% of all crime. But do you know who make up more than half of all crime? Caucasians. 54.2% and 72.9%. They're 72% of the population. They make up half of the crimes. Damn, that's insane. Oh my god, 4.9%. Oh my god, Native people are only like not even 5% and they make up 30%. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know how to think. I don't know how to feel about that.
Here are the 2019 statistics on that. Slightly old, but I have no reason to think they've changed that much. But you can see that black people commit homicide at 4 times their population size, and basically in every other category outside of drunk driving, they commit crimes at 2 to 3 times their population size.
Come up to the mic and call me a racist to my face, or are you an intellectual coward and want to shout it from 30 feet away? Come on up. Come on. Call me a racist.
You are a f***ing racist.
Fuck you. I don't care what you call me because it's not racist. It's called compassion. And we're pointing the stats out so that these communities don't have to deal with these problems anymore Because the reality is that if you're a black person and you get murdered, like 90% of the time it was done by another black person. So when you try to silence someone by calling them racist, the only thing I can assume is that you hate black people and want them to stay in crime-infested, fatherless ghettos. Compassion is saying that they don't deserve to live like that, so let's fix the problem.
There was laws put in place to put them into prison, and after...
What?
Okay, no. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
Jackson. It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm not here to pick on you, and I appreciate it. Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say. Is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around. Would we agree that's an ideal? Yeah? Cool. Yeah. And so what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think I misjudged you at first. Like, I think we are on the same page that, like, we know what the problem is. Like,
no,
how do we get there?
Well, the first of which is you must raise the standard of expectation, both internally and externally in the black community, that we're not going to put up with men, because we're both men, fleeing the women that they impregnate. Yeah. That we will say to men that flee the women that they impregnate, you're a loser, we're not going to tolerate you, we're not going to be friends with you, we need to demand better. Thank you for coming up to the mic. I know it's not easy, and God bless you. Thank you so much.
Have a good day, sir.
You going to call that one racist too? How about we start shaming these deadbeats who don't know how to use a condom and keep abandoning their kids? And shame the mothers who let losers impregnate them. The people trying to silence everyone pointing this stuff out are not your friends, and that BLM terrorist organization doesn't like black people either. They're stealing charity money to enrich themselves with multi-million-dollar content creator mansions to kick off their creator careers. Meanwhile, like 90%
like they bought mansions. They bought like fucking mansions. Was it like 6 mansions all across the country? That's disgusting.
of the people who have over 1 million subs started out in their mother's basement. And don't forget they said they wanted to destroy black families on their website, but promptly removed it when they got called out for it.
That's not good. That's not good.
Which brings us to BLM's biggest enemy. Security cameras, cell phones, and police body cam footage.
Body cams have ended the Black Lives Matter movement. They have. Because it turns out the vast majority of the time where, police do kill somebody, it's actually justified. It is a minority of times, a huge minority, when it's not justified.
Really? I can't show it because it's not YouTube safe, but if you've ever been on Twitter for more than 5 minutes, then you would know that a certain population would have much better interactions with the police if they were polite and stopped trying to violently assault the officer.
Here's what you do. You roll down your window, either all the way, halfway, however way you want to do it, as long as it's rolled down. Next, you turn your light on. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter. Turn your fucking light on. It's the middle of the fucking night. Okay? The crime rate is at an all-time high. Your lights are off. And you were doing you were doing 40 in a 25. And it's a school zone. I don't care if it's the middle of the night, school's out. It's a school zone. Laws are laws. Turn on your fucking light. Keep your window down. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know how fast I was going. License and registration. Here you go, officer. Actually, you don't even have to say I didn't know how fast I was going. Here you go, officer. Have a dash cam. Put your phone onto your dash. You're going to have that one cop who's like, oh, I don't want to be filmed. Fuck that cop. Just say, this is for my safety. I'm not trying to start anything. Here's my license and registration. If they want to escalate it, let them escalate it. You can get that footage later. Everything's backed up on the cloud. Except for me. I don't have my shit backed up on the cloud. I'm fucked. But majority of the time, like I would say 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, people have their shit on the cloud. So, just That's all you have to do.
Good morning, sir. I'm Officer Steven. What'd you pull
Fucking Christ. That's suburb baby.
me over for, bro? There's a reason I pulled you over. Look, he don't even got a reason. Like, y'all always doing this shit, bro. Sir, you were going 95 and a 20 during school zone hours while kids were crossing the street. Yeah.
I did. That's even worse than what I said.
Yes, I was, but I guarantee you if I was you wouldn't have pulled me over. You only pulled me over because I bet my life on it. I bet my life on it.
As I've said in multiple videos, nobody is more mad at these BLM supporters than black people who follow the law and want to live in peaceful communities. This is generally the case for anybody who is a part of any race where bad actors make all the good people look bad.
This is not our area.
What do you mean?
This is not our area.
It's not an area for what?
You have to call 911 to report that incident. We're just by.
What? I was walking down the block and you got assaulted right here. So
Are you retarded?
I came up to the car to ask her and tell her about the report. Nothing to do with y'all. Ain't you 911 though? Ain't you 911? Ain't you 911?
Holy shit, fire this chick. If you eat so many donuts on a daily basis you have to waddle into the precinct to clock in, then you don't deserve to be a police officer. Like, what's with them hiring cops or security who are clearly unfit for the job? I mean, do you think this 4'5", 80-pound woman is going to save you if you're being attacked by a real criminal? Second, what do you mean?
Didn't a woman, like, in the UK, I saw a video of a woman in the UK, she got fucking cooked. She got the shit kicked out of her. There was a fight going on. She went to stop it. She got her nose broken, I think. She got beat the fuck up. I think she got knocked out, too. Again, look at me. Look at me. If I was a criminal, I would be shot. Straight up. I'm dead. I'm afraid of female cops. I'm going to be honest. Why? Because they're afraid of me. If they see me 6'3" fucking broad shoulders walking up to them, I'd be scared too. It's like, oh fuck, I don't want to fucking go. I don't want to meet my maker. I understand. I'm not mad about that, but like, you gotta understand, this isn't good. This isn't. No.
Sorry, this is not our section. What the hell? You're literally the police. What do you mean he has to call 911? Call 911 and wait 10 minutes for the bad guy to flee when cops are standing right in front of him?
Yes.
What kind of stupid policy is this, and why aren't you disobeying it? You're letting criminals get away. So everybody's tired of putting up with shit like this. I'm going to cut here because...
This is why I'm blessed to be big. Because again, I've had similar situations like that. Homeless guy comes up to me on the bus, starts yelling at me, starts talking shit. Here's the thing. I'm not afraid. They're afraid. The minute I fight back, because somebody will come up to me and start some shit, I will just stand there. They start to back down. They start to get scared. The minute I stand, it's so funny. I'm so tall. When I stand up, my head hits the back of the fucking bus. I have to bend down because I like to sit in the back of the bus. I have to bend down so I don't hit my head. So some guy is like talking shit to me. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. The fuck you gonna do? You know, he's saying the N-word a lot, but I can't say that on stream because, you know, I don't want Twitch to ban me. But this guy will say that. I will stand up, and then immediately he's like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. He's just sitting. This is him, by the way. Fuck you, bitch. Man, fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna fucking cut you, bitch. It's comedic. It's like he'll talking shit. I'm like, can you shut up? He stands up. Oh, we're standing now? Oh, fuck. Yeah. I'm still talking shit, bitch. I'm still talking shit. You know, I'm still talking shit, man. Fuck you, bitch. You know, that's what I'm saying. Fuck you. It's hilarious. And you know what? Again, this is God. This is God blessing me. Thank you, God, for blessing me with this. Because the reactions I get are hilarious. Like, every time I go onto the subway, my commute to school has some bullshit. And then that bullshit's immediately stopped. Sometimes it didn't even have to start. It's just they'll see me. It's like, nope. It's actually kind of hilarious. And it's funny because it's like always like some guy who's like 5'9", and it's like, nope, it's not gonna work. Not even 5'9", like 5'8", probably. Not 5'7", it's probably 5'8", a little taller. But like, it's you're gonna start shit. Okay, you're not gonna finish it. I will. You know, I make my jujitsu's a little rusty, but I mean, shit, compared to yours. Unless it's a crackhead. If it's a crackhead, no, I'm fucking running. Some of these tweakers, they don't even need a knife. They'll just beat the shit out of you. Like, you gotta know the difference. Sometimes it's a guy who's just drunk, and other times it's a crackhead. A drunk guy, it's like, oh shit, you know, he wants to start shit, but like, you know, he'll slur, he'll slip around a bit, you can smell it on him. A crackhead, you gotta fucking run. Even if he doesn't have a knife to stab you, he will bash his head into the window and grab a piece of he will grab a piece of glass and finish the job. They're scary. Don't mess with a crackhead. We gotta give crackheads jobs. I'm telling you, these people are built different. I saw a guy once. I saw a video of a guy take a fridge, a whole ass fridge, gets on a bicycle, and rides the bicycle away with the fridge on his shoulder. Don't mess with crackheads.
To hit a part that's not YouTube safe, but spoilers: the white guy gets assaulted, and the worst part is that the bus is full of able-bodied people who have every opportunity to stop the assault, who just sit there and do nothing. Well, I guess one of them did film it. Also, they let the violent criminal escape.
He's running. He's running. Oh, he's running.
What are you assholes doing? How dare you let that happen? People like you are a part of the reason why America has so much crime.
Did he kill him?
The criminals do it because they know nobody will try to stop them. Well, except for this guy. This guy stopped the criminal. But no, it's racist to talk about statistics. It's racist to prevent crime. Are we all fatigued from these race grifters yet?
Do something more interesting, like call me a or something. Holy shit. I'm live in front of 13,000 people. You just ruined your college. Yeah.
I do not give a rat's fat ass.
So say it again. Call me a again. I'm live right now. You think I'm joking? I'm actually live on stream right now. Yeah. Yeah, your whole life is ruined now. Congrats. Yeah.
Nobody cares, it's just a word. Clearly you weren't that offended by it because you asked her to call you it multiple times. So why are you trying to ruin this girl's life? Again, literally nobody cares. Also, apparently there have been like 100 non-black influencers.
You see, here's the difference between him and me. He'll be like, call me it, call me it, call me it. Me, I'll be like, call me it. I'm fucking weird. I got a problem. I gotta speak to somebody about that.
To have said it, and I know at least most of these people's careers are fine.
And this is what I've said before. The people don't want to defund the police. They want to be the police. They don't want to stop censorship. They want to be the censors. They don't want to stop racism. They want to be the ones in charge of who gets to be racist. And once you understand that all of the language is just in service of them maintaining a power structure for themselves, everything else makes sense.
Right, because make no mistake, these people are far, and I mean far more racist than some edgy young people who want to use gamer language. So we're done with all the accusations from people who are objectively worse human beings, and we're done with people trying to cover up crimes because the person happens to be of a certain race. I mean, look at this shit. Guy assaults a child and was free from jail despite 6 violent arrests. We have another—
The fuck is his name? Jelks? I swear I heard a meme like that before. Oh, God. Oh! What? Finger and S. Oh! Oh! No! No! No. I'm sorry.
Guy assaults a child and was free from jail despite 6 violent arrests. We have another one who killed a white lady, and the reason that he was able to do that is because they kept letting him go. If you have 40 arrests, then you need to be quarantined from the rest of society. You aren't going to be rehabilitated. We pay taxes to stop this. Why are we forced to live with a violent maniac? Oh, and if you weren't mad enough, speaking of cameras, a few years back, San Francisco Public Transit refused to release security footage for fear that it would make people racist. Why? Because it's all the same.
Oh, give me a second. Hello, I'm on stream.
Oh, okay. I need.
My Nana made hamburgers.
group doing all the violence? Why don't we shine some light on the problem and try to discuss what cultural factors might have led to that so we can prevent it? That's not racism. The racist is the person who thinks that violent criminals should be above public criticism. Certain toxic cultural ideas shouldn't be allowed to reign free. Like, what the hell is this? There's a guy who's walking around painting over graffiti, and people are mad saying that he's erasing black culture. So vandalism is black culture? Here, let me show you some more culture.
So you went back in there and paid for a candy that she had already walked out the store with?
Yeah, she's done.
Why would you do that? I would never do something like that. I would just leave.
It's called integrity.
That dad is so fatigued. He's trying to raise his daughter.
Oh, W dad right there, by the way. W father right there.
To not be a criminal, and the mom is trying to stop him. You can see he's pissed. But I've seen a number of videos like this, and immediately when people get called out for committing crimes, they revert to calling everyone racist to escape negative feedback. Shut up. She said that after causing quite a bit of property damage. This arrest was well deserved, and a part of the reason that she thinks she can try to wipe her crimes away with racism allegations is because BLM did that with thugs and murderers for like a decade. But I digress. These are people who think that Killmonger from Black Panther is the hero. There's something deeply wrong with this part of the culture, and again, no one is more mad about this than other black people. Because, you know, when people stop criminals, guess who's the most happy? That's right, black people.
It's quiet, young. And I don't know if you ever had to deal with the DC government, young, but they suck, young. Stuff been out of control for years.
Finally able to chill at a red light with my window down, not worried about if one of them young niggas is coming. Ride through the city.
It took the entire fucking military. It took the military to do this. That's not good. You shouldn't be happy about that. I mean, glad it's done. Thank you for, you know, bringing in the National Guard to fix it. But it shouldn't have gotten to this level. Like, Bill Maher is right. Like, you shouldn't have to call in the military to deal with, like, you know, to deal with crime. But that just shows you how bad the crime has gotten. And it's funny, everybody's like, oh, America has such a huge crime problem. Well, let's fix the crime problem. No, it's guns! It's guns! Guns! It's the guns! Take away innocent people's guns. Do that, and the criminals still have the guns. Take out the criminals. Well, all of a sudden, all the crime's gone. The gun laws work! That's what they're gonna say.
Safe than I ever felt.
Yeah, isn't it nice? This is how it could be everywhere. That is how it should be everywhere. Anyway, did you guys hear about what happened on that train?
Honestly, you know what's weird, though? This is like the same city where the president of the United States lives. And how can you have the crime rate in the city where the president of the United fucking States of America lives? How can that be crime rate? That should be like the most secure city ever. Everybody's a Fed. Everyone's a Fed. How the fuck is it that the crime rate in Washington, D.C. is so rampant when the politicians, the fucking senators, the president, all of them come together? I would want that to be extra secure. That's your capital. Like, am I wrong? Am I losing my mind here?
North Carolina?
If you watch this video, this guy was sitting minding his own, she was minding her own business. She was also dressed in like baggy clothes, comes up, takes out a knife, stabs her to death. 14 times he was previously arrested. Situations like this are a nearly daily occurrence in our cities.
I feel like this was the moment that people started to lose it. And the reason for that is because if you watch the uncensored video, it is more terrifying than any horror film I've ever seen. I don't want to go over the most egregious.
It is. Wonder why it's terrifying? Because she was still conscious. That's why it was terrifying. I'm not gonna go into detail either, but like she was still awake. You watch, like, when you watch Scream, right? Like I was watching Scream. That's terrifying, but like this is even worse. It's not the same. Actors have got it wrong. I mean, like, if Scream was like this, because like he always goes for like I think
just parts of the footage for obvious reasons.
Never mind.
But fortunately, someone has made an artistic dramatization of the event. Basically, what happened is that this girl was an immigrant. Remember how the radical left and the legacy media says they love immigrants? An immigrant who escaped from Ukraine. Again, remember how they used to talk about Ukraine nonstop? She was a 23-year-old white BLM supporter, apparently, who sat on the train and was brutally killed before she even knew what was going on. And I will say that as someone who has been cut severely by glass before, you don't feel it. So she probably wasn't even fully aware that she was attacked, but you can see her in complete fear afterwards. And what would cause someone to do this? She called you the N-word. No, she didn't. She didn't even speak to you. Even if she did do that, it doesn't justify murder, but it does kind of suggest that she was killed because she's white. Oh, and of course, the media completely tried to cover it up.
The Associated Press wrote 0 stories about this over the weekend. PBS, New York Times, NPR, Wall Street Journal, BBC, CNN, Washington Post, Reuters, MSNBC, 0 stories.
The only reason that we know about this story is because of Twitter. People on Twitter created such a fury that the news outlets had to cover it.
So stop politicizing this. This is not political. This has to do with how we take care of our sick Americans.
Fuck off, Whoopi Goldberg. I hate every one of these stupid bitches on The View. I don't know why my Nana watches this. I truly don't. My Nana loves to watch The View. She's like, oh, they're really smart and intelligent. No, they're fucking not. No, they're not. They're annoying. Especially this one. God, I hate them all. I can't stand The View. Nobody made it political. You guys ignored it to the point where the politicians had to talk about it.
Yes. When they are in need.
What do you mean this isn't political? It's absolutely political. Remember in 2020 that there was a career criminal who was about to drive a car under the influence of fentanyl before he OD'd? Do you remember that? Remember how you pieces of shit in the media covered it nonstop through a massive disinformation campaign where you hid information and caused months of rioting? And you did that because he was black. But when it's an innocent white girl just trying to take the train in peace, you say nothing.
If not for independent media, no one would know this was happening. It's fucking sickening. Where are all the cops? Where are all the mayors kneeling and kissing a gold-encrusted coffin like they did for George Fentanyl Floyd? That motherfucker was a criminal who died of an overdose, and the entire city was up in flames. The whole country was rioting. Every cop was kneeling and crying to the woke mob in order to make believe that they cared so much. It's fucking bullshit, fake-ass, virtue-signaling ass crack of a society. Here you get a random girl killed for fucking no reason. No reason at all.
Actually, when they finally did start to cover it, they were very quick to make it political. Here's an article from the New York Times. A gruesome murder in North Carolina ignites firestorm on the right. And then the article spends the whole time attacking conservatives and running PR for the killer.
Come
it was
on,
probably
man.
one of the most disgusting things I've seen in my entire life. Oh, wait, here's something else that's pretty bad, too.
We don't know why that man did what he did. We don't know how to deal with people who were hurting in the way this man was hurting. Hurt people hurt people. What happened was horrible.
Yes, the killer was just so misunderstood. That makes everything he did okay. Of course, it was CNN that reported this. CNN is so well known for having dishonest reporting that at a first glance, I had trouble telling if this picture was real or not. Local graduate takes a stab at white supremacy. After decades of sitting in the back of the train, D. Carlos Brown Jr. took a stab at ending white supremacy. Now he risks losing his job at NASA. This happens every time one of these murderers of a particular race makes national news. They did it in the European article, too. The media is always like, he was Father of the Year, a 4.0 student with a thriving business. Meanwhile, the business is drug dealing, and in reality, he's a career...
Fucking Riley Friedman! Why the fuck is the Boondocks so relevant? They gotta stop. They gotta stop. Everyone loves to say the Boondocks can never be released today. You wanna know why? Because there's no point. You've been making the same show. It'd be the same fucking show.
This person had an extensive criminal history, including a lengthy history of arrests dating back to 2011, including offenses such as felony larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating threats. He reportedly served approximately 5 years in prison, being released around September 2020 for the robbery with a deadly weapon conviction. He also assaulted his sister just months later.
Good. Huh, I didn't even see that one. Huh, wow.
Lord.
Fantastic.
Okay, causing minor injuries. And again, as the news mentioned, this guy had a mental health related incident. Okay.
So then why is he in public? Then this dude should be in the asylum forever. He's a danger to the people around him, so we're gonna let him go on cashless bail. Hope he doesn't kill anyone. I'm telling you, man, this fucking bullshit empathy, it's too far.
This story has also caused a lot of unsympathetic assholes to engage in whataboutism and say, remember when that white guy killed somebody? Yes, we do. The problem is that everybody can talk about that, but we can't talk about this. Something else people began to notice is that there was a Netflix video of a similar context, except the train villain was a white guy. So after seeing this, a bunch of people...
Oh, no. It's like the one with the little... Oh, fuck. I was talking to... You know what? I ran into my English teacher. From high school. He was telling me about, like, that one movie where, like, that little white boy was, like, killing people. But it was actually, like, based off of a fucking, of a black kid. And then they race swapped him. I was telling him, like, dog, the only thing I saw about that was the race swap. He's like, yeah. That doesn't matter, though. He's right. It doesn't matter. I think the cultural reaction was wrong, but he was right. Like, what causes people to do these evils? He's right. It is evil. He was wrong and he was right. But, he's on his own level. I like that guy. He's a really good teacher. He was my favorite English teacher. That's why I went and said hi to him. Even one of my friends, like one of my friends, he's like 3 years older than me. It's so funny because he said he ran into him too. And it's like, we had the same teacher. That's so funny. We had the same teacher and it's like we're 3 years apart from each other.
People started posting crime statistics.
I don't know. I just thought that was
black
cool.
People are mostly killed by other black people. And here's the more interesting thing. They also noted that the total number of white people killed by black people is twice the number of whites who kill blacks. And that's not even a per capita rate. Per capita, if my math is correct, you're like 9 times more likely as a white person to be killed by a black person than the other way around. So this constant narrative of the past 10 years of how dangerous white people are is egregiously wrong. But I can't expect that much morality from Netflix because remember, they were the ones who put cuties on their platform.
I am an unemployed college dropout. I barely know how to code, which is why I've failed every job interview I've ever had. The closest I got was at Netflix until I brought up the cuties controversy. What did you think about Netflix standing by cuties?
So to be honest, I really would rather, I probably would rather not touch on those. Do you have any other questions about like the, what it's like to work for us or the culture or...
But what's even worse was the number of black people who were openly happy that a white person was killed, just like they cheered on Carmelo Anthony killing Austin Metcalf. This one says deserved and has a crown edited onto DeCarlos Brown's head. Next we have, we're even for George Floyd now. And last, we have one that says, DeCarlos is the natural response to 400 plus years of oppression. Expect more like him. Basically encouraging violence by rubber stamping it. In response to all of this, we have a tweet saying, America will never be the same.
What are we doing where we are sympathizing with fucking murderers? I can literally feel in real time myself becoming radicalized because this country is forcing me to. These people are forcing me to because the people in charge are a fucking joke.
Yep, I think a lot of people feel the same, but we haven't even hit the most disturbing part yet, which is that you see all these people here, none of them tried to stop the guy, though one guy did take out his camera and filmed. Now, understandably, there was no stopping him from attacking the Ukrainian girl. Unfortunately, that was just too quick. But after that, they let him go free. And let me point out how ridiculous that is, because I'm sure someone will say,
I thought he went to
well,
jail.
he had a knife, man. What could they do? Thank you for making an argument in favor of the Second Amendment. Welcome to the team.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck.
What could they do? Thank you for making an argument in favor of the Second Amendment. Welcome to the team.
That's fucking true. That's hilarious. Give me a second. I gotta piss. Be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back, Chad. I'm back. Miss me?
Second, if you watch the video, D. Carlos Brown puts the knife away, walks around, takes his jacket off, and no one
Hold on a
does.
second. Yo.
Then I talk to you about dinner.
Yeah. I'm leaving in 2 minutes. Unless, did you want to grab? Grab it. Actually, you know what? Give me, excuse me. Give me another minute. I'll be back.
Thing.
Hang on.
There were plenty of opportunities to make sure.
Give me a minute. I'll be. I hate this dude. I actually didn't. Which dude? Hey, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let me just grab dinner first. Shatters. Asshole stabbed her around. Sorry. He has a GoFundMe? What the fuck? Didn't the other guy, like, who killed Austin Metcalf, didn't that guy also have one? Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? It's wild. So we got the Diet Conch. And we got the Berber. We got cheese Berber. Homemade. No frozen. All fresh. Like a fucking Wendy's. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's all over. God damn. God damn, woman. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck yeah. Nope. Fuck, let me get up. Let's get Kleenex as a napkin. You know what? I gotta say, it's a little messy, but it tastes good. Let's give a W in the chat for my Nana. W's in the chat for Nana. Nana's making good burgers. We love our Nanas. We love our Nana's burgers. Some Diet Coke. This shit goes good. W's in the chat. There we go, W.
That he doesn't escape or worse, hurt someone else or both. And now you might say that these people probably didn't see what happened. Okay, so then why the fuck didn't the people who saw it say, hey, that guy just killed somebody the minute he put the knife away? The most frustrating thing here is watching them let him exit the train, free to attack someone else.
She was scared, holding herself, and then slumped over unconscious. And they just let her lie there.
This is horrible, and I've been on Twitter long enough to know that this reaction from people isn't isolated to this situation. So as bad as it is to watch a number of black people cheer on the death of an innocent girl, I think it's far more sickening to watch a train or a bus full of people who give no help to someone being attacked and do nothing to keep the attacker from escaping. Also, look at this here.
New York City is not safe. It's not safe for women, okay? I am so sick and tired of having to look over my shoulder 24/7, not just at night, during the day, at all hours. I'm sick and tired of it.
Now, this girl is a reformed liberal, so give her some credit, but a big reason there is so much crime is because of stupid radical leftist soft-on-crime voting policies, and get used to those policies because Mamdani is probably going to win, and he's in favor of making the New York justice system even more useless.
Are prisons obsolete?
I mean, what purpose do they serve?
Right.
Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, you know, I think a lot of people who defend the...
All I'm going to say is, if he gets in, New York is going to be a mayorless city. No, I don't think it's going to be screwed. What I think is going to happen is he gets in, city council is going to have a field day. It doesn't matter what policy he does. Because, like, look at the mayor of, like, Chicago or, like, the mayor of D.C. They did everything opposing to Trump about bringing in the National Guard. He will bring the National Guard to New York. He'll bring everything to New York. Because, you know, I know for a fact they're all going to attack Trump Tower. He's going to guard that shit like it's his home. Because it is.
Carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel.
Yeah, it makes me feel safe because you've quarantined all the bad people from civilized society. How is this guy popular? How is there no one better than him? With all the people in New York City, there's no one?
Men.
When are you going to wake up and realize that the women in your life are not safe? When are you going to protect us? When are you going to defend us? I don't know how many years I will have lost in my life to being so hypervigilant and having my nervous system jacked every fucking time I walk past a man on the street. Why are you still playing video games with dudes that think that Trump is the greatest thing to ever happen to this country? Look out for me. Do something.
It's weird because men are trying to keep people safe, yet there are tons of assholes who will support them being arrested for it. Like Daniel Penny, for example, who, from the sounds of it, stopped a crazy homeless guy from doing something horrible. Meanwhile, career criminals like DeCarlos Brown get a catch and release program from judges. And if you want things like that to stop, if you want people to stop getting punished for stopping criminals, then you need to be very loud in your support of the heroes with stuff like monetary donations to their legal funds, and be very loud in your distaste of people who are trying to increase the crime rate by letting criminals go free and by punishing good citizens. And when I say that, I mean that the judges who kept giving DeCarlos Brown a break need to be investigated and put on trial, and if they're found guilty, they should receive the same punishment that the murderer would get. It's time to be tough on crime. There are not enough penalties for being a criminal.
We need more people in jail. We do not have enough people in prison in America. We do not have to live this way. You can create a society and a culture where you can get on a train or a subway and not be Irina Zarutska and get stabbed to death in the neck because
they're all saying, like, why would you support Trump? Why would you support Trump? It's like, who am I supposed to support? Who am I supposed to support? I don't support Trump. I support his policies. And a lot of his policies are, you know, helping the little guy. That's just a fact. You know, like, you kind of have to pick your battles here. Like Olivia Chow, for example, the mayor of Toronto, that's a woman. And a lot of her policies have made life for women in Toronto dangerous. Like, come on.
Criminal decides, I'm just going to go do it.
He's right. Stop letting criminals go free. Now, I'm sure that most of you can probably figure out why I put so many clips of Charlie Kirk in this video. And actually, I'll say that I've kind of slowly been collecting information for this video for about 2 months now. Charlie Kirk was already in my notes and planned to be in the video because of what he said about South Korea being extremely safe. So he was already going to be in this video. However, what I would not anticipate is how major of a role he would play. And that's because on September 10th, 2025, I was scrolling down Twitter, taking a break from work, and I saw a tweet saying,
you know how, like, there was, like, before Christ and then after? Like, BC and then AD? After... What is AD? What does AD stand for? Excuse me. No, not, it's Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of our Lord. So yeah, not after his death. It's after it's after birth, because like 0 is like, you know, when the Lord was born.
and Charlie Kirk.
So it's like there's that, and I think it now feels like we're in a period of like before Kirk, BC, a new BC, and then after Kirk, AC. It wouldn't make sense though for like AD to be after death, because there was like he died at 33. He died at 33, and he died in 33 AD. That wouldn't make sense.
Has been shot, and I couldn't believe it. So I started researching, and it turns out that it actually did happen. So I made a post about it on Twitter, sharing my disbelief, thinking he was probably okay. And then someone generously posted.
I remember when my buddy Jay, he told me about it, and I was like, oh, of course he did. I honestly thought it was like he got shot like in the arm or like in the leg. And then I was at work, and my buddy sent it to me. Oh, he didn't send it to me. He just watched it and he was just scrolling. And he got it sent to. And he wasn't scrolling. He got it sent to by one of our mutuals. And he's like, "Oh fuck, he's dead." I'm like, "What? What happened?" Charlie Kirk, he's dead. I looked at it. He was gone. I thought maybe he said like it was instant. Well, I don't think it's instant. There is a chance, but he is gone. It's a sliver of a chance. And then, of course, they announced it later, and that was like, oh, fuck. I couldn't work for the rest of the day. I mean, I still had to. Like, none of us could. We all were kind of like, fuck. It's like, we all collectively, everybody around me was like, the fuck? Nobody felt safe. None of us feel safe anymore. That's why I'm doing this. That's why, like, I'm dedicating, like, you know, Mondays to, like, looking at drama and shit. Because, like, you know, I want to say, like, yeah, there's people out there. I want people to feel safe. Like nobody feels safe, and like, and that's the thing too, right? Because like, especially because I've been saying it, right, where it's like I don't feel safe. Everyone thinks it's weird. It's like, why don't you feel safe? It's like, you know, I'm a Christian. I am a religious person. I haven't been to church in a while, but that's because I have to work. I'm broke as shit. So it's like either you eat or, you know, you don't. That's my reasonings for why I haven't been going to church. But there's a lot of people that I'm hearing about. I can't say I know anybody personally, but I'm hearing like a lot of people don't want to go to church because they're scared. I mean, shit, like in like Michigan, like in a town north of like Flint, an entire church was just set ablaze. Like, fuck me. And then you're hearing stories of like, you know, like I showed you, like 200, 300, 100 churches all across Canada are getting burnt. It's like, I wouldn't want to go to church if that's the case. You know, I fear for like even my family who go. Hated Mormons? Oh. Really? That's disgusting. Disavow him.
An uncensored close-up video of the shoot.
Oh, great. Now if that's the case, the left are going to take this and fucking run with it.
Shooting, and immediately I knew it was over. But there were no official announcements yet. People were saying that technically he could still survive even though it looked bad. So I spent, I believe, about 2 hours frozen in front of my computer screen, refreshing Twitter, hoping that we would get news of yet another failed assassination attempt. Maybe we'd see Charlie in bandages, he wouldn't be able to speak that well, but he would give us a thumbs up, and we would know that everything is okay. But that didn't happen. Instead, what I found was a tweet from Hassan Piker, of all people. America is an insanely violent nation.
I don't know why people don't like Mormons. They're fine. They're weird, but they're fine. They don't bother you. Jehovah's Witnesses, that's a different story. I wouldn't say, like, you know, I'm not saying do anything to Jehovah's Witnesses. Just saying, like, if I had to choose between, you know, the Watchtower or the fucking Mormons, I'll take a Mormon. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm pretty sure they don't follow that.
Gee, I wonder who the fuck has been promoting violence for like his entire career, Hassan. Then Twitter gave me a second tweet from him. Trump announces that Charlie Kirk has died. Maybe it's poetic that I heard the news from Hassan first, or maybe it's demonic.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. For years, those on the radical left
then never mind.
have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst.
I don't know anything about that. I'm only thinking about because I knew I had like a kid in my school. He was a Mormon. He was fine. His parents too, like his grandparents are fine too. And I mean, these Mormons too, like, again, like, these were like, this is like one of the other black kids in the school, half black, I guess.
Mass murderers and criminals.
It was a very
this kind
Caucasian
of
school.
rhetoric
Doesn't
is
matter. Anyway.
directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
I'll read it again. Charlie Kirk's final tweet said, "America will never be the same." He'll never know how true that statement is, as we all got the pleasure of being traumatized by 2 snuff films in a 1-week period. One of the most polite and empathetic live debaters that I've seen, Charlie Kirk, was shot because of what he had to say,
No
and
tax
an
on
innocent
tips.
woman, Irina Zarutska, who was just trying to use the train, was stabbed by some lunatic who had 14 priors. Worse yet, not only did they suffer, but all of us who watched the video had to suffer along with them. I think for different reasons, though. They suffered the tragedy, and the people who were close to them suffered the loss of a loved one. Irina's family and friends lost her, Charlie's wife lost her husband, and now there are 2 children who will grow up never knowing their father outside of a computer screen. Not to mention the worst of this, which is that his death happened in front of his wife and his daughter. So they have to suffer the direct trauma of loss, and all of us have to suffer with the knowledge that we're living in a very different place than we thought we were. It's crazy to me how just 1 to 2 months ago, we were all celebrating that Charlie got parodied by South Park.
The whole thing is just awesome and hilarious. There's so much more I,
feel
want to say about this.
And also, isn't his company like America, the Charlie Kirk Show, or like not America First? What was it called? Just the Charlie Kirk Show. Aren't they like trying to like petition South Park to reinstate the episode? That was so weird. It's like everyone. I'm hearing people saying like, "Oh, South Park has Turning Point USA." That was what it was called. They're all now saying like, "Hey, get this back on. We need this out there." It's so crazy that people are blaming South Park for this. I saw like a few people blaming South Park for this. Like, can you guys shut up? Like, the man loved it himself. Oh god, that's.
But the whole shtick, by the way, Comedy Central, South Park, you crushed the water. I compulsively drink water on campus.
He literally starts taking the lid off, and before he can get a drink in, he sets it back down and grabs the mic and shuts down the person he's debating with.
That clip was hilarious.
This was such a win and a fun moment, and clearly South Park put a lot of effort into copying his mannerisms. So moments like that kind of make me sad on a personal level, and I'm sure other people feel the same way. But in the aftermath, we all suffer with the idea of what this country has become. To watch people be brutally killed, and then see the next part of this story, which is everyone who was happy that those people got killed.
Well, I just saw the video of Charlie Kirk getting his box boomed. I mean, boomed, bitch, like, gone. I have no issue with it.
Yo, they got Charlie.
Nose ring. It's oh god.
Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
I will not ever, 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 ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Rest in peace, bozo!
Maybe there are good guys with guns out there.
Oh, but he was a man with a wife and kids. Yeah,
Wow.
And now they're safe from him.
I think most people
Wow.
watching can sympathize with how sick and disgusting it is
That's
to see people
embarrassing.
cheer on a public murder, not because Charlie did anything criminal, but because they disagreed with his ideas. Here's J.K. Rowling tweeting the day after, "If you believe political opponents should be punished with violence or death, you're a terrorist." Well said.
Millions of people in this country apparently believe the acceptable response to speech they don't like is murder.
Now, I will note that there was a shooting at Evergreen High School in Colorado on the same day that Charlie Kirk died, so I'll briefly address that by saying that it's sad, and I'm tired of all these assholes sacrificing children for political points when all they have to do to stop the vast majority of school shootings is hire a few armed security guards to protect the students and protect the teachers. Like, why is this still an issue? This is why
I had like there was like at my school, right? At my old school, like first elementary school I've been to, even like, you know, the other elementary school. I've been to like two elementary schools and 2 high schools. There were cops stationed at those schools. Like, they would hang out in the parking lot. I don't know if they were stationed, but they would hang out at the parking lots. I hope they were stationed. I'm going to assume that they were stationed. Police officers just in the parking lots. That right there is a deterrent. Like, what's wrong with that? Don't answer that. Please do not answer that.
I hate politicians.
There's nothing
there are
wrong
tons
with
of
that.
simple answers to these questions, yet they refuse to do what's obvious. Anyway, let's go to the moment where TMZ employees were caught cheering in the background right after the news that Charlie Kirk died was released.
Janet, go. Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
The great part of this is that TMZ did a follow-up video where they said that people in the background were cheering because of a car chase, which, if you sync the time of the car chase up with the cheering, nothing important was happening. So everyone thinks TMZ was full of shit. But they weren't the only ones to backpedal. Here's a singer who, ironically, goes by Bob Villain, who said this.
I want to dedicate this next one.
Oh,
to
no. No.
The pronoun
This guy.
was, were. Because if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
Now, let me just consider the optics of this by saying that as a person who stands up on top of a stage for a living and says his ideas, do you really think it's a smart idea to say from an extremely vulnerable position from a security standpoint that people should be shot if someone disagrees with them? Well, he knows he can say that because despite the current rhetoric of the left, the right is not violent. And unlike the left, there aren't massive amounts of people who believe political assassinations are justified, as well as domestic terrorism. But I will also note that Bob Villain here tried to pretend that he didn't say he was okay with people being assassinated.
Real quick.
You just did.
At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated.
I was about to just pull it back. It's a fucking TBYS already did it for
point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated.
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
So make no mistake, an uncomfortable amount of people on the left who have been calling everyone heartless villains for years were perfectly okay with this guy being shot in front of his family for words they didn't like.
There are, I think I've seen about 7 instances of people selling merchandise and memorabilia with this horrible image of Charlie Kirk's neck leaking blood. People are making stickers of it. It is, needless to say, very fucked up.
Of course they made merch. Very capitalistic of them.
I didn't realize how sick liberals were until this Charlie Kirk situation. Like, I don't want to live on the same planet as these people. Like, I have experienced real racism in my life, actually. You know? And I don't think those people deserve death. You guys can't even deal with an actual, like, political discourse with a center-right political figure.
But the question is why?
Right?
Why are they okay with this? What could he have possibly said that was so offensive that he deserved to die?
By the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
Charlie Kirk? I mean, he himself said a couple of deaths here and there aren't so bad.
Why do these people look soulless? I don't know why. The eyes, they're just... it's creepy. Why do they creep me out? I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just what they say, their words, their mannerisms. It's very soulless. It's odd. It's got to be perspective. It's got to be perspective. It's got to be me.
An acceptable side effect of gun rights.
Charlie Kirk? I mean, he himself said a couple of deaths here and there aren't so bad to keep our Second Amendment, right?
Oh my God, I recognize that crazy bitch.
Oh!
She's the one from the
Oh, shit. I knew I seen that before.
video that I did about leftist violence.
I was in the back of my head like, why the fuck do I know this chick? That's why.
What an unexpected cameo. But okay, he said something like people should die so his greedy ass can have guns. And they kept citing this clip here, so let's watch it.
I'm a big Second Amendment fan, but I think most politicians are cowards when it comes to defending why we have a Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. I love hunting. The Second Amendment is not even about personal defense. That is important. The Second Amendment is there, God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against a tyrannical government. Governments tend to get tyrannical, and that if people need an ability to protect themselves and their communities and their families. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty reasonable argument. Saying that someone should have died for that is batshit insane, because you can apply his logic to anything really, like workplace deaths. I'm willing to pay the cost of someone at some point getting into a lethal accident while stocking shelves so that I can drive to the store and go get groceries. And I know all of you are okay.
Yeah, like I worked in an outdoor store once, right? There are knives, or we're dealing with knives. We're dealing with like heavy items, big shelves and everything. I put myself at risk every day when I step out the door. I'm at risk right now. My shelf could come apart, fall on me. You know, God forbid. My desk could just fall over. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. Anything can happen. It's not likely, but there things do come with risk. There's risk and reward for everything. Now, these are like fringe, like, you know, ideas. If I could think of anything, I guess like with the whole thing with like, you know, the knife thing, somebody could break the cabinet with all the knives and take a knife. But it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to just ban selling knives at that point? No, it's an outdoor store. People need knives for the outdoors. You know, it's like one of them was like a fish knife. Another one, like one of them was like a knife to like gut fish. You need that. It's an outdoor store. It was one that didn't sell guns, but there's plenty of other outdoor stores that sell guns. You know, I think this one should have sold it, but now that's not for me to decide.
With that too.
Anyway,
people in power plants die. Should we get rid of electricity? Do you know how many people would die if we got rid of electricity tomorrow? That would probably devastate the entire country. So I think most people would say that unfortunate accidents at power plants are worth the benefits of electricity. There's no utopian solution.
About the benefits too to like those knives, like I said, like there are like risks to those knives, but there are benefits. Like they're for fish. Using them for fish. They're gutting fish. Like, oh, why do they have to be this sharp? Why do they have to be this big? Why do they have to be serrated? It's a knife. This one's for gutting fish. This one's for gutting deer. But really? You seriously asking?
Where nobody dies. Everything has a cost, and that's what he was saying. He's saying the death toll of not having guns would be higher because of government tyranny. Like how Hitler disarmed the Jews, and well, we all know what happened after that. These are repeating cycles in history, which is why the reason for the Second Amendment is primarily to stop tyrannical governments. Now, since this gotcha moment from the psycho libs who think Charlie deserved to be shot was almost certainly about school shootings, let's listen to what he has to say about that.
So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, by having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks.
True.
Thank you. I'm so glad that I'm not the only one saying that all you have to do is put armed guards at schools, and you would almost entirely end school shootings. Of course, two-parent homes are important, and I agree with all the other stuff he said, but if we wanted to end school shootings right now, a couple of guards at each school would stop them.
Like, yo, there's a guard at my building. I would feel 10 times safer if he had a gun on him. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, if you're in a condo and your building security has a fucking firearm, you're not going to have any trouble.
And then we can work on the mental health and cultural issues that cause crimes like that to happen in the first place, which, you know, is the theme of this video. There's a reason why I've included Charlie talking about the importance of two-parent homes. It's a big deal. It's the biggest deal. Actually, speaking of communities that have high rates of single motherhood, here are some stats that I'm sure radical leftists don't want you to know. This comes from the...
Give me a second. I gotta use the bathroom again.
The CDC. Did you know that if you remove blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans from the equation, gun homicides in America plummet like crazy? I mean, look at that. This is insane. Black people commit gun homicide at like 10 times the rate of white people, and it's more than that compared to Asians. Guess which communities have strong family values? All right, let's see why else Charlie deserved to die.
How do you feel about Charlie Kirk being assassinated yesterday on a college campus?
I actually want to say something about this.
Yeah, you can say it after. Let me take a piss first. Oh, whoops. Wrong one. I'll be right back. No. That's a good song. I'll be right back. Been drinking a lot of water. All right, I'm back. I'm back, chat. Miss me?
If you're gonna spread hateful shit and you're gonna target marginalized groups of people, don't be all, oh my god, I've been shot. I won't get shot because I don't do that. I don't have to worry about that. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for his wife. I feel bad for his daughter. He did that to himself. You want to talk about all this crazy shit? Don't act crazy when other people are gonna fucking come and shoot you.
Do you think your life should be in danger for having an opinion?
If it targets marginalized groups of people, yes, you are spreading hateful speech. It's not like I have an opinion about if I like ketchup or mustard. No, you're talking about people of groups, marginalized people. Those are hateful. That is hateful speech.
I love how she's like, I believe people should be shot for their opinions, but I'm on the right side of history, so it would be wrong to shoot me. These people never fail to show how self-centered they are. But the more ironic part is how uninformed she is on this, because Charlie seemed to deeply care about communities that she would consider to be marginalized. Basically, she's saying that he should be shot because he said that black families should stay together.
Some of you out there getting very emotional over Charlie Kirk. Yes, I feel bad for his kids. Not for him, though. He spread racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-LGBTQIA+. Have we all forgot about that?
Really? A Muslim is going to complain about homophobia? Why don't you clean your own house before you criticize others? Especially since Charlie Kirk is known for speaking out against conservatives who wanted to kick gay people out of the party.
Now, both you and your organization advocate for the acceptance of anti-Christian, immoral lifestyles like homosexuality and transsexuality.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
So are you a proud Trump supporter?
Of course.
So are you sickened that he had a gay man speak at his convention?
Yes.
Then you're not a Trump supporter, my friend. I also do not believe in the sort of rhetoric that some people engage in, that all of a sudden that they say there's no place
for gay people in the conservative movement. I do not believe that. Jesus Christ talked to all people. Jesus Christ went and did his ministry through Judea and Samaria, and he had dinner with tax collectors, and he had dinner with prostitutes, and he did his ministry in every part of the Mediterranean. What it means to be a Christian, my friend, is to be open-minded but firm in your beliefs, so you can have that belief. But if you say there's something inherently wrong with communicating or associating just because they make different personal decisions than you, sir, are not a conservative.
Interesting what happens here when you have more of the context of what someone has said instead of getting all your political takes from idiots on TikTok. I'm not saying that you have to do intense research here, but if you can't even watch a 2-minute clip that's not being filtered through the lens of your favorite creator before you decide if someone should be shot, then you're a retard and no one should listen to you. Speaking of transphobia, does this sound transphobic?
I'm a transgender male. What age should kids be able to get things like hormone therapy? Because I don't know what's true, what's not.
Tell me, are you comfortable telling me your story?
I've known that since like 3rd grade, and I'm currently 19, almost 20. I just don't know, like, with the whole medical stuff, like what's true, what's not, what's helpful, because I've heard so many different opinions.
First of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to have an opinion that very few people will ever tell you, which is I want you to be very cautious putting drugs into your system in the pursuit of changing your body.
Mm-hmm.
I instead encourage you to work on what's going on in your brain first. I think what you need first and foremost is just a diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Just someone that is going to listen to what you've gone through, listen to what else
Wow,
is
this
going
guy sounds
on.
horrible.
My
He
prayer
sounds
for you,
mean.
and again, very few people will say this, I actually want to see you be comfortable in how you were born.
Yeah.
I know that you might not feel that way, but I think that is something that you can achieve. I think that with the right team and the right people, you don't have to wage war on your body. You can learn to love your body.
I mean, I gotta say that has to be one of the most compassionate and empathetic ways to phrase that. Doesn't force his beliefs, says what he thinks, and shows respect. It sounds like he really cares about this trans person. And also, I have to say that I've been watching Charlie Kirk a ton in prep for this video, and I mean you have to take this guy wildly out of context to make it seem like he said something 1% as bad as anything you see Hassan regularly going viral for saying or doing. Keep in mind that there are crazies out there scrubbing through all of Charlie's content, and that gun thing was the worst thing they could find. Meanwhile, Hassan is here doxing his enemies.
Dylan Burns, Hunter Avalon, Hutch, Destiny's Own Personal Chef. Like, this
What the fuck?
What happened? This is what took place.
To be clear, on the actual stream, none of this personal info was censored. And by the way, for all the terrible things that Hassan has done, I don't think he should be shot. Maybe he should spend some time in jail, though. All right, 2 more. I'm just going to quickly sum these up. People said they were mad because Charlie didn't like the civil rights movement.
Oh, I just saw this video where he said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Get out of here. Anybody that says shit like that, I don't care what happens.
I'm not sure if I entirely agree with him on this because I don't think I know enough of the exact history, but basically his argument is that the resulting affirmative action and DEI programs are actually harmful to the people that they're supposed to be helping, and harmful to everyone else. I can see how there's an argument there, and maybe some of that should be reformed, because affirmative action and DEI are cancer. Last, they were mad that Charlie said that you should not be allowed to abort a baby if they were the product of sexual assault. I would contend that this is kind of a hot take. Personally, I believe there should be some special exceptions for abortion, so I don't think Charlie and I would see eye to eye on this 100%. However, make no mistake that the reason his opponents are using this sexual assault argument is so they can justify using abortion as birth control, and personally, I think using abortion as birth control is highly immoral and should be illegal. Either way, saying that someone should be shot for any of these opinions is insane. But the problem is that there are now probably hundreds of thousands or millions of people in America who are open about their belief that you should die for believing something they don't.
My coworker was all in a tizzy because she gonna tell me that Charlie Kirk got
This is a nurse. This is a nurse. This is a nurse. Oh no.
shot, and I said good. So
Oh,
we get into
no.
this whole conversation
Oh,
about it, and she goes,
no.
well, you can't hate people for their political views. And I'm like, yes, I can. Like, that's specifically why I hate people sometimes.
You're a nurse.
You can't hate me for my views because my views don't infringe upon your rights. You don't hate me for what I believe in because it doesn't interfere with your life. Some of these views are
Aren't you
dangerous.
a nurse? Aren't you a nurse?
And I'm glad he got shot. Hopefully he dies. I don't care.
I'm in disbelief of how stupid her reasoning is. But notice how she's like, yeah, I think you should get to kill people who say things I don't like, but I'm on the right side of history, so you shouldn't get to kill me. Right, because the people who promote murder are always the good guys, though she's not the only one with these beliefs.
So the day after Charlie Kirk died, I was in class. My teacher said, I'll give you 5 minutes for hot takes about Charlie Kirk. I was the only person who raised their hand. I said, I've been saying we need to bring back political assassinations. I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public. So this class is literally about revolution in China.
You know she's gonna have to go into a meeting with the dean. I'm sorry. She's gonna have to like go into a meeting with the dean. She can't. You have to see the dean. You just said something that is completely fucking dangerous. That is dangerous rhetoric. The dean should be called of that school. If I was in that class, I'd feel very uncomfortable. I've been in a class like that too. Like I was doing like what was it? Conquest. It was about conquest. I thought we were gonna be talking about like shit like Napoleon Bonaparte or Genghis Khan. No, we were talking about plants and shit. It's like it's not what I signed up for. But okay, biodiversity and the fucking the problems of capitalism. It's like this is not what I signed up for. I should have went to the dean. The moment the teacher said capitalism is bad, I should have went to the dean. Or at least just cancel the class. Say, I didn't sign up for this. I don't know if this is a part of the curriculum for that class. I don't feel like I'm learning anything. Like, and that's not the worst that she said. She said a lot more shit, but it's like I kind of was half listening because after she said that, it's like, okay, I don't think this professor's all there. This is a normal thing they talk about, by the way. This is like a normal thing that college professors or university professors talk about. It doesn't matter if you go to university or community college. This is shit they're going to be talking about.
All of our readings for this month have been talking about how violent revolution liberated millions of people and liberated women. And
you're using China as your example? You're using China as your example. We lost the plot, guys. We lost the plot.
And then our reading for that day was specifically about democratic dictatorship, where Mao writes about, yes, people deserve free speech, but there should not be free speech.
There's no such thing as democratic dictatorship. There's no such thing as Those are like two opposite ends of the spectrum, and democratic dictatorship. I'm at a loss for words. I am genuinely at a loss for words. I don't even know how to respond to that. What is democratic? What the fuck?
For reactionaries and imperialists and like capitalists and all these people who are enemies of the revolution, because that would reverse the progress that was made.
I love how these people never think that anyone would shoot them for their opinions. Or really, maybe it's just an admission that they know the right is not actually violent, so they aren't afraid to say these things. But also, these people are so stupid that they think they would survive a violent revolution or a civil war without any major injuries or without any of their friends and family dying.
Well, some people have to get shot.
Developing news today.
But it's not you. People love saying stuff like that because they think it's never going to be them.
Yes.
Right? Like, everybody likes saying this kind of stuff.
Yes,
because
they do.
assume that when this happens, it's all going to happen to somebody else, or somebody else is going to have to do it.
Understand that if this country breaks down, you'll be lucky if you don't die. In this
That's
case,
the dark
this
part.
person was
That's the fucked up part. It's like you're telling somebody else to do it. You don't even have the balls to do it yourself. You're just saying somebody else should do it. That's what's fucked about this.
willing to burn down the system over Dunkin' Donuts, so the revolution isn't sending its best. But this is why you don't encourage political violence, because it will always come back to you. Whatever you do to them will be done to you, and it's actually disgusting how brazen these people feel in telling everyone to murder their political opponents.
And someone need to get the wife too. Fuck her. She just as motherfucking trifling.
Let me just say this. I'm surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like, don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. It was so crazy. I watched like a 1 minute edit of like the things he said, and they're like so atrocious that like His wife
Love
deserves
everybody.
to go
Horrible.
Too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like y'all too scary. Y'all too scary for revolution. Y'all too scary for progress. Like y'all want results.
You're
without
scary.
putting in the work. You gonna have to take out trash to get a clean house. Like it is what it is. Take the garbage out.
This woman's talking about an ideological cleansing. While sitting at a bus stop, this woman is talking about starting up an ideological cleansing. And I'm going to assume she's directing this towards the 55% of the population who voted for Trump. It's not even that. I don't know what to say about that. That you're saying this at a bus stop. If I was walking by and I heard her say that, like, talk about people like that, I'd run away. I'm afraid of what she will do. Actually, you know what? No, that's a lie. I wouldn't run away. I'm not afraid because it's a fucking coward. She's gonna tell other people to do it.
Take the garbage out. All right. Not me. I'm chilling.
The more I see stuff like this, the more I think we should just start arresting these people for saying it. I'm not there yet, but bit by bit, I'm getting closer. The violent rhetoric has to stop. It's not good that people on the internet are constantly trying to push the mentally ill into murdering people on the opposite political team. And by that, I mean it's basically only meant to attack the right. Leftists are the only ones who have this incredibly violent cultural narrative, and it goes past Charlie Kirk and Trump. Here's someone telling people to kill libs of TikTok. This next guy is telling people to kill Elon.
Listen, all the Elon Trump stuff, it's getting to a point, man. It's getting like somebody is gonna have to, preferably someone who's already doing it, so one of y'all. But somebody's gonna have to just throw their life away on this one, just kind of take one for the team, just kind of.
That's horrible to say. That's a horrible thing to say. Take one for the team. Yo, listen. Yo, one of y'all's gonna have to fuck your life over. Not me though. I'm not gonna do it myself. I got shit to do. I got video games to play. But somebody should. That's what you look like. That's what you sound like. That's what you're doing.
Somebody has got to just kind of get in there.
You're putting the burden onto you're demanding the burden goes onto somebody else, so you don't have to feel bad. That's disgusting.
History. You know who you are. So just buck up and do your duty.
Okay, why don't you throw your life away if it's such a good cause? These people are spineless. And you do realize that you're trying to call yourself the good guy while you're saying that you would willingly engage in human sacrifice to win at politics. Again, I'm starting to think that this country is way too lenient on threats and calls to action for political violence.
These people
Speaking
vote,
of
by the
arresting
way.
people, let's talk about the shooter. Much to the dismay of alt-right conspiracy theorists, he was not on a plane to Israel the minute the shooting was over. They caught him 2 days later, I think. Here he is. His name is Tyler Robinson, and he was turned in by his own father, who was a conservative, which the left were just so happy about. Hassan was just giddy at the thought of the shooter being MAGA.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Right, because I've never heard of any kid who has rebelled against their parents' political beliefs. Surely Dean Withers didn't end up on the left despite having MAGA parents, and neither did Destiny.
This is the guy calling the Charlie Kirk shooter a right-wing conservative MAGA guy, by the way. The guy, living with his trans partner and lover, furry enjoyer notices bulge ooh-woo guy who uses anti-fascist terminology, the Bella Ciao song used by Antifa. Literally his own mother, own family, and friends said he's a heavily left-wing radical. He wrote a message saying, "I want to protect you, my love," to his trans partner, and he obviously thought Charlie was a transphobe and wanted to take him out. This guy killed the most effective conservative activist in a generation, but no, he's a right-wing conservative. He was a MAGA grifter, actually. He's probably an Asmongold fan, obviously.
There's no way this kid was on the right. Nobody calls people fascists but far-left nutjobs. Though personally, I don't have much interest in the shooter outside of thinking it's funny that he was a furry, or looking at these super cringe messages that he sent to his transgender partner. He seems to mostly be a complete idiot who fired a gun and caused a COVID-sized political rift. Oh, and then there's that old guy who claimed that he was the shooter so that the real one could get away. I hope he finishes the rest of his days in prison. Nice job, soldier. But what I'm more interested in is what caused all of this. Why do so many Americans think political violence is okay? I mean, this is a different country than the one I grew up in. Well, I think it starts in small ways, like a news organization showing off a salt gun by mock assassinating Trump.
Okay, Donald Trump's here, so let's say Donald Trump.
It doesn't hurt.
Down there.
Or
Does it have like a laser?
I'm not sure it's actually that far.
I feel like there needs to be a laser on this thing. Or do you,
well, okay. This is.
Oh!
Hey! Yeah, I think people pay attention to stuff like that, and certainly a lot of them don't think it's a joke. And they've been suggesting that Trump should be killed because he's mean since Kathy Griffin did that photo shoot with a fake bloodied head. Then for years they said words were violence with the term microaggression, where a retarded college professor...
You guys say words are violent while you guys use violent words.
Staff said it was
the
violent
irony.
And aggressive speech to ask somebody where they're from. So now we have tons of idiots like this person that J.K. Rowling is responding to who say words are violence. No, they aren't. You don't get to kill somebody because they hurt your feelings. I mean, look at the escalation on this. Around 2017, they were saying that you should be fined and then jailed for misgendering people, and Jordan Peterson went viral for opposing that. Now they're saying that you should get to kill people for misgendering. You see what a slippery slope violence is? So that kind of stuff was the boiling the frog era, and once they got you to accept the lighter stuff, Hassan and his fan club could actively promote violence.
Left-wingers, liberals, you need...
I'm not risking this. I'm not risking any of this. I'm not risking it. I'm not risking it today. Not today.
Full-on security detail just to do a talk.
Speech is not a left-wing value. That is why they have to deploy shock troops called Antifa to go after everywhere I go. When I go to University of California, Davis next week, there has to be 120 police officers because of the threats, the violent threats of liberals that want to disrupt our events. There are no right-wing hecklers that come to events like this. Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, myself, Candace Owens need 24/7, 365 armed security to prevent ourselves from the violent threats from the left. And so I think it's rather clear there's one side that is trying to do everything they can to shut one side up and one side that's trying to open up the marketplace of ideas. And I think that's rather self-evident.
He's serious. I went to some of these political speeches when I was younger, and not only did the speakers have their own security, but the audience had to be protected by police officers too, because Antifa and BLM would show up trying to cause a riot or try to beat up attendees. And again, these people call anyone they disagree with a Nazi, and then say, punch a Nazi. So let's be clear, when they say that people should be killed for having the wrong political beliefs, they mean you.
This is you. This is your sister, your wife, your daughter. But this right here is you. And this is their reaction when you are killed. This is their ecstasy when the floor of the subway car is awash in your blood.
One, he looks like Trotsky. Two, this video is pure cinema. I honestly am surprised that Sam Hyde produced this. Like, the words. This man has taken... I was set aback to how he, like, articulated it. It's amazing. It's a really good video.
When you are killed, this is their ecstasy when the floor of the subway car is awash in your blood. This is you. Make no mistake, that is a symbol. That is you. This is Charlie's family. And these are his children who will never be able to hug their dad. These are the people who smugly revel in this, and they won't stop with just Charlie.
I think this is spot on, like that video that Sam made about American companies trying to use H-1B visas to replace all the American jobs with cheap Indian labor.
I think the truth behind that is he's not a guy that even remotely had it coming, not that anybody does, but he's not even on the radar of guys that deserve that. And what he represents is, because he's such a non-martyr material, he represents that it could happen to everybody. And I see a lot of people saying, that's my uncle's politics, that's my grandfather's politics, and they are now realizing that, oh, they want my loved ones dead.
Yeah.
For holding some of the most benign political stances.
Right. I think that Charlie Kirk had some of the most incredibly benign political takes that the majority of people would agree with, which is why he was so popular. So when they're saying that he should be killed, they're saying that you should be killed. And these people have the audacity to lie and call the right the party of violence because of January 6th. January 6th, where they were let into the Capitol building and none of the protesters killed anybody. Listen, I'm not a fan of what happened on that day, and I was very pissed at the right at that time. But to say that one day is comparable to a decade of violent riots where people were murdered, businesses were looted, and property was destroyed is insane. Anytime one of these idiots calls the right the party of violence, ask them to name 5 riots caused by the right in America over the past 10 years. They can't because there haven't been 5. Meanwhile, I can name 5 riots from the left that all happened in the same week just a few months ago. Tons of these people are trying to falsely claim that the right is this super violent political movement. You have Ilhan Omar using this graph from the ADL to say that the right is violent. Wait, isn't the ADL pro-Israel? Isn't that haram? Anyway, let's look at what they consider right-wing violence, and what in the hell do any of these have to do with political violence or terrorism? I mean, this one was a prison murder. I don't see how that has any effect on the political landscape. This other guy was a domestic abuser, but oh wait, they found QAnon in his browser history. There you go. That's like saying George Floyd died of COVID because he tested positive during the autopsy.
The things that they're calling political violence is like absolutely nuts. Yeah. One was like a homeless man who broke in and attacked a hotel guy and he yelled a slur. So they call that political violence. And anytime it was like against a Jew, they called it right wing. And it was like, okay, but there's left wing, like anti-Jew people. You know what I mean?
Lots of right wing Jews.
And there's lots of, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, they had like a guy that got in a fight with his neighbor, and the neighbor was Mexican. They call that right wing violence.
Right. That's instantly right wing violence.
They say there's like political violence is down, and then you look and it was like 2020, and there's just like 2020 is like way lower than these other areas, and you're like, okay, well, it seemed pretty high there. Just like based on your eyes, and they're like, your eyes are wrong.
If this is what they have to do to pretend that the right is violent or has a violent political narrative, then you know they have nothing. But I can't stress this enough. When they say Charlie Kirk, they mean you. And they have meant you for a long time. Though anytime issues like these happen, people have the question of, what do I do? Well, to answer that, the first thing that you have to do is get mad.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
I actually don't agree that the political temperature should be lowered. I think idiots like Destiny are only saying that so the right doesn't start doing things that are actually effective. And when I say effective, I don't mean violence. But you should be pissed. Because you know what I've noticed during my time on this planet?
God, this is a long video.
Power,
there's a lot of
times,
shit going on.
Doesn't go to
Holy
the most
Christ.
intelligent people or the people with the best arguments or the people with the best morals. It goes to whoever is the most mad or the biggest Karen. Do you know why tards on the left have so much power? It's because they're always angry. They're the ones who will do batshit insane things to achieve their political goals. So everybody caters to them because like those losers on that train, they don't want to deal with the stress of fighting back.
Yeah, and why would you? Like, fuck, these people are unpredictable. And most of the time, well, not most of the time, but a lot of times, you see people getting in trouble for defending. That's the biggest problem.
Have to be angry to fight back. Why does Black Lives Matter have so much power? It's not because their arguments are solid. In fact, I think BLM is incredibly toxic for black people, but they have tons of power because they're good at getting mad. So you need to get pissed. This is your life. This is your country. We should not have to live in a crime-ridden shithole full of people who constantly say they want to end our lives because we believe different things. It's time to get mad and do something about this. And if you aren't mad, how about you listen to this?
Isn't it just so refreshing to finally see an assassination pulled off successfully for once? I mean, talk about professionalism at the right time.
Yeah, an assassination is so funny that you went and reposted an old joke after Charlie Kirk died. But this guy's a comedian and he wants you to die, so how about you ruin his career and make sure that he never works in comedy again? As they say, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Also, you know, this is definitely a community guidelines violation. Anyone who is encouraging stuff like violence is violating TOS, so feel free to get their accounts banned.
Yep.
People with decent jobs who are promoting this stuff should be forced to make a career change to Walmart cashier. Payback is a bitch, and I have no sympathy because I've had 3 different leftist dipshits try to get me deplatformed, and I defeated every single one of them. Why? Because I got mad. Someone wants to abuse the copyright system to silence me? Okay, game on. Let's make this a legal battle, and when you lose, I'm going to use every legal power I have to ruin your life. because you tried to ruin mine.
Understandable.
And you don't get to cry and play the victim because you poked the bear and the bear happened to be stronger. Noah Samson tried to get me deplatformed. Where is that guy? Oh, that's right. His reputation got so utterly destroyed in the fight with me that he had to switch formats and cater to a bunch of violent radicals to pay his...
Also, this guy is like almost, I just noticed this, he's almost at like 1 million subscribers. That's insane. I honestly thought, last time I saw him, fuck me, 425,000 views. Oh, fuck, in real time, this guy has been going up. 456,000. Wow. It's only been a day. This guy almost has like 1 million subscribers. Shit, he went up. Interesting to see. Sorry.
Bills. Now he's busy couch surfing and trying to avoid being served by Ethan Klein. Have fun being homeless forever, Noah. Oh, and fuck Illymation.
If you're bored, if you're angry, if you're thinking about how you're going to get back, while you're thinking about that, what you can do in the interim is you can make a polite phone call and ensure that one of these fucking freaks is broke.
Yep, get people fired. It works. Remember, they started it. Not to mention that we gave them the chance to be civilized and they spit in our face, so now we're going to ruin their lives, and the progress is glorious. Here's an appetizer. DC writer gets comic canceled after 1 issue. You see this, comic fans? You had this power all along.
Karma's real and can be brutal.
Look, it happened to a Ghost of Yote developer who made messed up comments too. They got fired. Here's a male school teacher who just lost his job over Charlie Kirk comments. Good. You aren't fit to be around children. Actually, Texas suspended the licenses of 100 teachers who like political violence, which is great. I think their licenses should be removed permanently, which means they can no longer be teachers in Texas. You know all that time that you spent in college? Gone. Have fun training for some other job. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
American Airlines got rid of some pilots. Microsoft is afraid. And
Toronto District School Board, the TDSB, got rid of people because they were saying this shit. They were showing this shit. They were showing the video to children. That's how far this has gotten. We're showing a man losing his life to young children while you preach to them. What the fuck?
And slightly related, people are saying that Ilhan Omar should be deported for, that gross immigration fraud thing she did that involved marrying her brother. Actually, it looks like she might genuinely get kicked out. Good. Deport that Minneapolis mayor too. If he wants to speak Somalian, then he can go live in Somalia. I hear it's great there. And again, if there are any people out there who are trying to make you feel bad for this, don't forget that they have done this to their political enemies for over a decade. You can't even play competitive video games like Super Smash Bros. Without these assholes trying to threaten you and throw cancel culture at you. This next event comes from a YouTuber who goes by Technicals, talking about his Super Smash Bros. Friend Hack's Money, who recently passed after complications from a suicide attempt. After Hack's passed, Technicals gave a speech that points out that a major contributor to Hack's poor mental health was bullying and cancel culture from the Smash community, which is full of radical leftists, by the way. In response to that speech, we can see the exact same evil behavior that we see around Charlie Kirk.
Need someone from the Smash community to fuck up Technicals IRL. Put a little fear into him. Lil Chud is out of control. Why? It's always someone else. That's how you know that my speech hit the right target audience, because these are the people who were crying about Leffen getting death threats, yet they're saying that I need to be killed. They don't see the irony of it. They're like, let's keep Hacks banned for life because Leffen got death threats, but fucking kill this guy that I don't like, please. So because they dislike me, they justify wanting me assaulted, say I should be killed, I should die. None of these people are gonna have anything happen to them for saying this about me, because the people in charge agree with them, and there's no objective standard of behavior. It's not like a standard where, okay, you broke this is the punishment, it said it right there. No, it's, oh, someone I don't like broke this rule? Okay, now time to actually enforce our code of conduct. And it's so blatantly obvious that that's what's happening.
Right, that's exactly how social media has been. Twitch especially, they have rules, and if they like you, they don't enforce them, but if they hate you, then they'll just make up rules that don't even exist and say you
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy, Twitch. I'm a good boy.
This is not just a petty get woke, go broke drama.
Love you, Twitch.
This is a workplace safety issue, which means that if a company ignores employees who are threatening people or refuses to remove them from the workplace, It's an OSHA violation.
Threats related to Charlie Kirk must be reported. If you are posting something like this, anything similar or worse, you need to be investigated. So here we go. The secret weapon is OSHA. OSHA refers to the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970, the OSHA Act. It is a federal law, a U.S. federal law applying to all states and territories that requires employers to provide a safe workplace free from recognized hazards. Hey, if you're going to say a death threat, a safety threat to others, saying, hey, look, I'm afraid, I'm legitimately scared that this person posting this online is going to come after me for my conservative beliefs. I'm afraid this person is going to do what they did to Charlie Kirk. They're celebrating this. That could be, based on an examination, looking into it, a very, very, very legitimate threat. So why is this so powerful? Why OSHA and not HR? Let me explain why. It's anonymous, so you will not be retaliated against. Human Resources cannot bury it because this is a government thing. It's going to come through the government regulatory body. They're going to know they got an OSHA complaint. They cannot hide that. And trust me when I tell you, as a corporate attorney, the CEO, the C-suite people, the management people, they will notice when OSHA complaints start coming in because there are legal penalties for non-compliance.
Got it. OSHA it is. It's crazy how they tried to ruin our lives for jokes and memes, but now they're getting all offended that we want to get them fired after they make violent threats. It's not just jokes or memes on their end. This is serious, and these people need to be punished.
I hope that it's been eye-opening for the public to see the bloodlust that exists, not just on the fringe left, obviously, but also on the mainstream left, in the aftermath of this assassination.
Yeah, this is a second wake-up call after the first wake-up call, where we watched what people on the mainstream left forced us to do during COVID. The left has some major issues. There's a reason why tons of liberals are now calling themselves politically homeless. And for all the crybaby leftists who are now playing victim here and saying, how dare you do this to us? This is so unfair. Unfair? Are you kidding me? You assholes have not only spent over a decade trying to get people fired from their jobs, but also have engaged in, God, it has to be like 100 riots, and that's not including them blocking roads.
The fucking... Okay.
So this is probably, for lack of a better word, a very conservative estimate of all the leftist violence. You locked us into our houses for 2 years, you fucked the economy by doing that, which caused tons of people to lose their jobs, and then you tried to force everyone into injecting a rush vaccine into their body. Actually, they did force a lot of people into doing that because they threatened their jobs for not complying. Not to mention that you tried to assassinate Kavanaugh, you tried to assassinate Trump, and you did assassinate Charlie Kirk. And you're still saying that more people on the right should die. I think that moderates and the right are being incredibly generous by only trying to get you guys fired. Though, as you might have guessed, I'm not sure if just getting these people fired is enough in some cases.
Whatever the pretext is, RICO case, whatever, the people who have called for violence, they should have a day in court. That has to happen.
Now, this is kind of a complex conversation, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. The reason it's complex is because whatever you do to them, they can do to you. And when they do it to you, they will be as unfair and malicious as possible. Because while the left is the party of violence, it's not like there aren't a handful of people on the right saying stupid shit too.
Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Door to door, street by street, and clean this country. I'm a peaceful man. Time for peace is over. I'm willing to fight and I'm willing to die.
Keep in mind, any of you idiots who want civil war should expect to die. And
yeah,
expect that
the
for your
fuck is
friends,
wrong
and
with this
expect
guy?
that for your family, and expect that for your children. Remember how often Hassan Piker calls for violence and how shocked he was to watch someone die that he didn't even like? And that was just on video. So how about we behave like civilized people instead of like a bunch of animals? Though personally, I think that guy is just an idiot who had no real intent on doing anything. But if we aren't careful with how we write legislation, he could go to prison for that. You might go to prison for making jokes about stuff like that. Now, the current law is that an incitement has to be a direct and immediate threat, which would include something like a major leftist political streamer calling for violence, and then somebody kills somebody the same day or in close proximity to the time that the violence was called for, and they were able to find a connection between the death and the incitement. Personally, I don't think that law is strong enough, because all you have to do is just be patient with your calls for violence, say something that will cause somebody to commit a crime a few weeks or a few years from now, and you're fine. This is how people sell media narratives that cause things like the 2020 riots. So I think we need to have a discussion about new legal language that will allow us to punish violent radicals like all these people trying to encourage a crazy person to go murder somebody, as well as media figures like Hassan or Destiny or CNN, who are clearly trying to get people killed. Like, they need to spend a few years behind bars. But what I don't want is this.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Oh, boy.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you, if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
Fire her. Screw you. There is no such thing as hate speech. How dare she try to bring that retarded term into the right's vocabulary? But outside of that, I'm just thinking here, how about if you make a TikTok with the clear intent to encourage people to kill American citizens or the president, or say, is someone going to...
Okay, it's going on for too long. I'm getting tired. I'm about to fall asleep here, chat. I think that's enough for today. If you want to see the rest of it, go ahead. I think before you sleep, give him a like, give him a sub, get this man to 1 million. But I think that's going to be it for me tonight, chat. I don't think I can handle it anymore. I was going to talk about a lot more, but this video went on for way too long. Well, the stream went on for way too long. The video is also long, almost 2 hours. Fuck me, that took a lot out of me. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably play some more Battlefield, finish the battle pass, have fun there. But anyways, I'll see y'all later.